Back here for another Friday evening at the MLB Youth Academy, as your Barons are just about set to take on the San Luis Obispo Blues for the first time this season. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. The temperatures have cooled off significantly here this week. Game time temperature about 72 degrees as we're just minutes away from first pitch. The Barons are currently in the midst of a 4-game losing streak and will look to bounce back here on this Friday evening. Both of the Barons' win this season have come on Fridays as they look to continue that trend tonight against the Blues. Let's go ahead and introduce you to both teams. The San Luis Obispo Blues are in the first base dugout and enter today's game with a record of 6-6 on the season. They're led by manager Dean Traynor, and joining him on the staff are assistants Rene Regalado and Paul Teixeira, along with pitching coach Brian Traynor. The Blues make their first of 2 road trips down here to Southern California this season, playing tonight at the Academy and tomorrow night at the Great Park in Irvine. San Luis Obispo is coming off a 3-0 victory over the Arroyo Seco Saints and a dominant performance by their pitching staff, who collectively allowed only 2 hits in last night's game. This will be their 4th game in 4 days, plus the travel down to Compton, so keep an eye if any of the players show signs of fatigues. The Blues will be in their gray uniforms with the blue shoulder sleeve. Pretty nice look, as they have the gray pants to go along with it. And over on the third base side are your Academy Barons. The Barons enter this season 2-7 on the year and are now losers of 4 straight games. Pitching and defense has been a part of the issues for them. The Barons currently lead the league with 16 errors this season, and their ERA has jumped to 7.60 after Wednesday night's loss. The Barons are led by 11-year head coach Kenny Landreau, a Compton native and a former major leaguer. Played for the California Angels, Los Angeles Dodgers, and Minnesota Twins. Also on the Barons staff are assistants James Bishop, Lorenzo Gray, Tank Kazarian, and pitching coach AJ Monarez. Some team stats to pay attention to when you're looking at the 2 teams, comparing them side by side. The Barons are hitting .271 on the season this year. The Blues are hitting .259, so that category is an advantage for the Barons, but we mentioned the errors and the pitching hasn't been there for the Barons this season, and the Blues will have an advantage on that. They've only committed 15 errors this season in 12 games versus the Barons 16 in 9, and they have a 4.21 ERA versus the Barons 7.60 ERA. So those are some stats for the teams collectively as we get ready to give you the starting lineups and the starting defense ahead of the top of the first. We'll see the Blues bat first, so let's go ahead and get you their starting lineup. Batting leadoff and playing short, it's Sam Ardois. Brady Alvis will play third base and bat second. Logan Hart playing center field and batting third. In the cleanup spot, it's Donovan Jordan, the right fielder. Andrew Raymond playing DH and will bat fifth. In the sixth spot, it's left fielder Gavin Smith. Brendan Comerford is playing first base and batting seventh. In the eighth spot, Camden Andrews, the catcher, and Diego Murillo, the second baseman, rounds out the lineup. He will bat ninth. On the mound for the Academy Barons, we'll see a left-hander by the name of Joel Tornero. Tornero stands at 6 foot. He played this past season at Azusa Pacific, and we'll tell you a little bit more about his collegiate career. We're also excited to have Tornero on the broadcast later in the game after his start. He's the starter on the mound, and we'll get you the defense around him. In the outfield, from left to right, it's Jason Del Villar, Antonio Lujan manning center, and Jacob Klevnovsky in right field. In the infield, it'll be J.J. Nielsen at third base, DJ Akiyama at short, Nathaniel Williams is playing second, and over at first base, it's Trevor Schmidt. Behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes, is Gavin Taylor. So that's your starting lineup for the visiting Blues. The starting defense for the Academy Barons, top of the first. In just a moment, we're going to cut to a break for the national anthem. Both head coaches had already chatted with the umpires over here by home plate. Again, Barons are led by head coach Kenny Landreau. They enter with a record of 2-7. The Blues are led by head coach Dean Traynor and enter with a record of 6-6. First pitch when we come back after this break. Back here at the MLB Youth Academy here on the MLB Youth Academy YouTube channel. My name is Noah Alvarez saying thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. The Barons are just about set to take on the Blues of San Luis Obispo. It's the 9th game of the season for the Barons. They enter with a record of 2-7. The Blues are 6-6. They've played 12 games thus far. This will be their 4th game in 4 days, so we'll see if the fatigue catches up to them as the Barons do take the field in the top of the first. We mentioned game time temperatures are currently at 72 degrees, a sensational day for baseball here in Southern California. We'll go ahead and give you that starting defense one more time in case you missed it before the break. Joel Tornero will be on the mound, making his 2nd start of the summer for the Academy Barons. He's a left-hander, stands at 6 foot, and played this past season at Azusa Pacific. Gavin Taylor will be behind the home plate. Trevor Schmidt is manning first base. Nathaniel Williams at 2nd. At shortstop, it's DJ Akiyama. JJ Nielsen is playing 3rd base. In the outfield, from left to right, it's Jason Del Villar, Antonio Lujan, and Jacob Klanovsky. That's your starting 9 defensively for the Barons. The lineup one more time for the Blues. Sam Ardois will lead things off, the shortstop. 3rd baseman Brady Alvarez will bat 2nd. In the 3 spot, it's the center fielder Logan Hart. Donovan Jordan will bat cleanup. Andrew Raymond will do the DH duties and bat 5th. Left fielder Gavin Smith is in the 6th spot. Batting 7th is first baseman Brendan Comerford. Batting 8th is Camden Atrews, the catcher. And Diego Murillo, the 2nd baseman, will round out the order here for the San Luis Obispo Blues. They're in their gray uniforms, gray bottoms. The gray uniforms have a navy blue sleeve on them. The Barons are in their home blue uniforms with the white bottoms. Just about ready for baseball. Top of the first. Some players to keep an eye on in today's match. The Academy Barons keep an eye on Nathaniel Williams. He's starting over at 2nd base. He currently leads the team with a .478 batting average in 5 starts for the Barons. He also leads the team in home runs this season with 2 home runs. Has also contributed 6 runs as well as 7 RBIs. So look for him to make a big impact. Defensively, he's at 2nd base. First pitch from Tornero to Ardois is upstairs. Want to know the count to the shortstop. And for the Blues, keep an eye on Donovan Jordan. He's having a sensational start to the summer this year. Currently leading the team with a .372 batting average. Leads the team with 16 hits. Currently in the transfer portal, spent this past spring at the University of Texas. Foul ball off to the right side. 2-1 the count to Ardois. Ardois wears number 55. He's from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Just misses the bottom of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. We'll see a 5-pitch arsenal for Joel Tornero on the mound. Fastball, curveball, slider, a sinker, and a changeup. On the ground over to Nielsen. Corrals it. Over to first in time, and that's out number 1. Routine grounder for the first out here in the top of the first. Well, we'll see the 3rd baseman now, Brady Alvarez. Spent this past spring at Butte College, a native of Fallon, Nevada. Wears number 14, also hits from the right side, just like Ardois. He'll be playing 3rd base defensively, and it's a first pitch breaking ball in there for a strike. Misses outside. 1-1 the count. For Tornero, this will be his 2nd start of the season, 3rd appearance for the Barons. His first came in relief. Swing and miss. His first appearance was against the Arroyo Seco Saints. He went 3 innings, gave up 4 runs in the contest. Downstairs for ball 2. In his most recent start back on June 13th, a week ago, he pitched against the Conejo Oaks, started the game, went 4 innings, only gave up 2 runs, allowed 5 hits and 4 walks, but was able to work out of some tough jams. Also picked up 2 strikeouts. On a line to the third baseman and off the glove of Nielsen. It's a 1-out single. Nielsen dove to his right, but was unable to glove it cleanly. So there's runner on first here for the San Luis Obispo Blues in the top of the first inning. Looking to strike first. They hosted the Arroyo Seco Saints last night in a 3-0 victory for manager Dean Traynor. Now we'll see the center fielder Logan Hart. Spent this past season at Cal State Fullerton as he watches the first pitch strike. Good size lead over there at first base. Schmidt holding. Hart comes up empty on the swing. No balls and 2 strikes. Hart wears number 40, stands at 6'3". Left-hander will play center field today for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches. It's a strikeout. Out number 2. Two up, a runner on. 2 out, a runner on. In steps Donovan Jordan. Donovan Jordan is going to be an exciting player to watch today. He's currently in the transfer portal after spending last spring with the University of Texas Longhorns. Hitting .372 on the season as the first pitch runs outside. 1-0 the count. In the class of 2024, he was the 7th ranked outfielder in the state of Texas. However, didn't make an appearance this spring, which could be a reason why he's in the transfer portal as Tornero makes a throw. Back in sliding is Alvarez. So Jordan looking for a new home, along with one of his teammates here on the roster, also transferring from Texas, Cade O'Hara. Foul tip off of Taylor, the catcher, and he gets up pretty gingerly. 1-1 the count to Jordan. Jordan got the day off yesterday in their 3-0 victory. It was Logan Hart who started in right field. Now Jordan's playing right field today. Wind pushing out towards right field. Foul ball. Moves the count to 1-2. Alvarez still at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Tornero. Swing and miss. Tornero picks up a second strikeout here in the top of the first. Strands that runner at first base. That'll allow us to move to the bottom of the first inning. My name is Noah Alvarez, saying thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Let's go ahead and get you that starting lineup for the Academy Barons. Batting leadoff and playing second is Nathaniel Williams, and the 2-spotted shortstop DJ Akiyama. Batting third and playing first is Trevor Schmidt. In the cleanup spot, it's catcher Gavin Taylor. Tommy Gooden will do the DH duties and bat fifth. In the 6th spot, it's Jason Del Villar, the left fielder, batting 7th. And playing right field is Jacob Klanowski. In the 8th spot, it's center fielder Antonio Lujan. And batting 9th, rounding out the order, is third baseman J.J. Nielsen. That's how the starting lineup looks for today's game. For head coach Kenny Landreau. The starting pitcher for the San Luis Obispo Blues is a right-hander by the name of Jackson Howell. He stands at 6'3", weighs 210 pounds, a native of Morro Bay, California. He pitched these last 2 seasons at Cuesta College and is currently looking for a new home. Again, bottom of the first coming up. We'll go ahead and get you that defense for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Behind home plate, it's Camden Andrews. Over at first base, Brendan Comerford. At second, Diego Murillo. Sam Ardois is at shortstop, and Brady Alves is playing third base. Gavin Smith is playing left field. In center, it's Logan Hart, and Donovan Jordan rounds out the defensive lineup for the Blues as he plays right field today. Bottom of the first, no score. The Blues did pick up one hit. Barons are hoping to jump on the board first. Currently riding a 4-game losing streak, but they haven't lost on a Friday yet. It's the third Friday of the summer season. Again, thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Williams has gone off to a very strong start this year as well. We mentioned the likes of Donovan Jordan for the visiting Blues. Williams leading the team with the batting average, .478 on the season. The infielder, utility player this past spring for the Santa Ana College Dons. Down and away for ball one. Williams is a switch hitter. Played high school at Ocean View over in Huntington Beach. Chops this one foul to the right. Williams, like many players here on the roster, trained here at the MLB Youth Academy growing up. Now playing here during the 2025 season. Another foul ball moves the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Williams steps back in. Howell back on the rubber. Pitches from the stretch. Lines this one right up the middle and into center field. It's a leadoff single for Nathaniel Williams. Very consistent at the plate this summer. It's now his 12th hit on the year. That'll move up that batting average a little higher. 12 of 24, exactly 500 on the season after that last hit. In steps DJ Akiyama, who's also having a pretty strong season at the plate. Entering today's contest, .346 on the season, 9 hits and 26 at-bats. Swings over the top of that one. 0-1 the count to the shortstop. First baseman Comerford holding Williams, who has a decent-sized lead at first base. Akiyama taps this foul. No balls and 2 strikes to the shortstop. Akiyama went 2 for 5 at the plate in Tuesday's loss to the Conejo Oaks. It was a day to forget for the Barons pitching as they gave up 19 runs in a 19-6 loss. Long pause from Howell, and now he throws over. Williams back in with the slide. No balls and 2 strikes to DJ Akiyama, also a switch hitter here at the top of the order. 3 in the lineup today. Antonio Lujan later in the lineup. Another switch hitter for the Barons. Another foul ball. Count remains at 0-2. Akiyama spent this past spring at Campbell University, which is over in North Carolina. No balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. Another tapper over to the second baseman, only plays to first. Williams moves to second. 1 out of the inning. In steps Trevor Schmidt, first baseman. Had a powerful drive to right field last time we were here on Tuesday against the San Diego Bombers. His solo home run came in the 7th inning, which made it a 4-3 game. However, the Barons weren't able to push across any more runs. Lost that game 4-3. First pitch misses to Schmidt. Schmidt spent this past summer, 2024, playing for the San Luis Obispo Blues here in the CCL. Inside for ball 2. The past 2 springs, he spent seasons with Fullerton College. As a freshman, he won the MVP of the Orange Empire Conference. It's a very competitive conference that features the likes of Santa Ana College, Golden West, Cypress, as well as a few other tough programs. Saddleback College, another one. 2 balls and no strikes to Schmidt. Offers and fouls it off. Schmidt will continue playing baseball over at Grand Canyon University. Two and 1 the count. Drives this one into center field, going back his heart towards the track, and has enough time to make the catch on the run. A spinning throw comes in quickly, and Williams goes back to second. Loud out number 2. 102 off the bat, but it only traveled 363 feet. It's 401 feet towards dead center. 2 outs, runner on second base for the Barons, and in steps Gavin Taylor, the catcher. Taylor is a native to the San Fernando Valley. Grew up in Tarzana. But like Nathaniel Williams, also trained here at the academy growing up. First pitch misses outside from Howell. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Just misses downstairs. 2-0 the count. Taylor got the day off on Tuesday. Isaac Ocampo got the start behind home plate. Those have been the 2 catchers in rotation for head coach Kenny Landreau. 3 straight misses here from Howell. Williams getting off to pretty big secondaries over at second base, maybe throwing off Howell's rhythm. Taylor picked up 2 RBIs and 2 singles in the loss to San Diego Bombers on Tuesday. 2 for 4 in that contest. In there for strike 1. 3-1 the count. Batter on deck is the DH Tommy Gooden. Gavin Taylor spent this past spring with LA Valley College with his brother Colin. Colin is a third baseman. Both brothers at LA Valley this spring. Both brothers here with the Academy Barons this summer. Colin getting the day off after playing on Tuesday. Runs inside. Taylor works a walk. 5-pitch walk, first and second. 2 outs, bottom of the first. Things are scoreless here at the MLB Youth Academy. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. In steps Tommy Gooden. Gooden is a freshman from Vanderbilt. Didn't appear in a game this season, but was a member of the Vanderbilt baseball team. Upstairs for ball 1. Gooden in the lineup now for 3 straight games at the DH spot, which is a good sign to see. Back in the first game of the season against the Bombers, Gooden left the game early due to an apparent leg injury and missed the following week. Scoots this one over to left field. Williams gets held up, but it gets past the left fielder, Smith. Williams will touch home plate. And so a run comes in to score for the Barons. They take an early 1-0 lead here with 2 outs. So it's an RBI single for Tommy Gooden. He advances to second on the error by the left fielder. Should have been a pretty routine play in front of Gavin Smith. Smith is listed as an infielder here on the roster for the San Luis Obispo Blues, so a little bit different than playing in the outfield, and maybe that's why he struggled coming up on that ball cleanly. Jason Del Villar gets hit on the first pitch. Bases loaded now. So a chance for the Barons to pour on early. 2 outs. In steps Jacob Konofsky. He does have some power as he hit a solo home run in Tuesday's loss over in Thousand Oaks. It's his first home run of the season. Last summer, he hit 2 for the Academy Barons. This is his second season, or second season that I'm seeing him. He could have been here in 2023. He's a senior at Cal State East Bay. We've mentioned that he played a lot of ice hockey growing up, and he grew up a big Connor McDavid fan. He has to be pretty bummed that Connor McDavid and the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup Finals now back-to-back years to the Florida Panthers. Bases loaded. First pitch downstairs to Klonowski. That was pitch number 21 already for Jackson Howell. Gavin Taylor's at third. Tommy Gooden's at second. Jason Del Villar is at first. Upstairs for ball 2. Klonowski just finished his senior season at Cal State East Bay, made 27 starts, hit .284. He's a native of Upland, California. Away for ball 3. Nowhere to put him. 1-0 is the score. Barons hoping for more. 3-0 the count to Klonowski. In the zone for strike 1. Take sign must have been on because that was a very pretty pitch to hit. Howell back on the rubber. Set for the 3-1 pitch. Konofsky offers and foul tips it into the padding. It's now a full count. With 2 outs, expect the runners to be moving on the pitch. Jackson Howell gets a new baseball. Konofsky back into the batter's box. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 4. Never threatened the zone. Another run comes across here for the Barons. Taylor touches home plate. 2-0 is the score in the top of the first. Bottom of the first. We're going to see our first mound visit with the coach. Looks like that's head coach Dean Trainer. Pitching coach Brian Trainer. Not in attendance here with the San Luis Obispo Blues on this trip. The Blues are traveling from San Luis Obispo. They play in the CCL North Division, so they play along the likes of the Alameda Merchants, the San Francisco Seagulls, the Walnut Creek Crawdads, the Sonoma Stompers, and the Menlo Park Legends. That's the teams, or those are the teams in the California Collegiate League North Division. But the Blues, because they're technically closer to the middle of the state, right? You would call that the Central Coast. They make a trip twice to Southern California this season, and this trip they take on the Academy Barons here on this Friday. Tomorrow they'll take on the OC Riptide at the Great Park in Irvine. It's their 4th game in 4 days, so fatigue has to be catching up to them. They left San Luis Obispo at 9 a.m. this morning, so it's been a very long day. Antonio Lujan steps in. spent this past freshman year at Azusa Pacific. On off speed pitch in for strike one. We mentioned that we've been having player interviews on, and we had Antonio Lujan in Tuesday's broadcast against the San Diego Bombers. Thought about going around, holds up his swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lujan is the son of Mike Lujan, who played 2 years at Azusa Pacific, and the son of Lisa Fernandez, who is a famous softball player in the community, currently the head coach of the UCLA softball program. On the edge of the zone for strike one. Strike two, 1-2 the count now. 2 outs. Lujan is a switch hitter. Will hit from the left side with a righty on the mound. Playing center field in tonight's contest. Got the start in center field in Tuesday's game as well. Konofsky at first. Del Villar is at second. Gooden's at third. Breaking ball misses high and wide. That was pitch number 30 on the outing already for Jackson Howell. Two balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the first, Barons lead 2-0. Lujan awaits. The 2-2 from Howell. Downstairs, another easy take. Andrews blocks it and keeps it in front of him. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The batter on deck is the 9-hitter, J.J. Nielsen. This is the 8th man to come to the plate, already in the bottom of the first. Howell went full to Konofsky and threw a walk on the 3-2 pitch. Let's see what he does here against Antonio Lujan, another hitter who can hit for power, hit 10 home runs this past spring and has 1 home run already this summer. Runners take off, and this misses downstairs. Howell wasn't able to throw a strike. Another run is walked in by the Blues starter. 3-0 is the score. Advantage Barons. So a big spot here for the Barons to really pour it on the Blues. No one warming up in the pen. There is activity. There's guys getting loose, moving around. I'm sure head coach Dean Trainer was hoping to get a much longer outing from his starter. Nielsen steps in. The third baseman awaits the first pitch. On the ground, over to the shortstop. Cleanly over to first in time, and Ardois is able to retire the third and final out. But not before 3 runs come in cross for the Academy Barons. They have a 3-0 lead as we head to the top of the second. Thanks for tuning in to Academy Barons Baseball. We'll be back after this break. Back here on the MLB Youth Academy YouTube channel. If you're supporting one of the members here of the Academy Barons this summer, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get a notification every time we go live. We'll stream all the home games here this season. I'll be broadcasting almost all the home games this year. If you can make it, try and come out to the Academy this summer. It's right off the 91 freeway between the exits of Long Beach Boulevard and Alameda, right off the 91. Very accessible wherever you're at in Southern California. Here in the top of the second, we'll see the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Andrew Raymond will start things off, the DH, followed by Gavin Smith and then Brendan Comerford. Lefty on lefty matchup for Tornero. It's a breaking ball that misses. 1-0 the count. Again, a 5-pitch arsenal for Tornero. Fastball ranges from 88 to 90 miles per hour. Spikes this one for ball 2. He also has a sinker that gets a lot of ground balls, as you saw in the top of the first inning. Three straight misses here to begin the inning. 9 men come to the plate in the bottom of the first, so it was a long rest period for Joel Tornero in the dugout. Third start on the season this summer. In the zone for strike 1. Into the netting for strike 2. Tornero's a native of West Covina and committed to Northwest Nazarene out of high school. Tapper on the ground over to first. Schmidt will have to toss it underhand to Tornero, a close play, but that's 3-1 for out number 1 here in the inning. As soon as that ball was hit on the ground to the right side, Tornero took off, was able to give himself a good angle. Now we'll see the left fielder Gavin Smith, and Smith hoping to redeem himself after making an error in left field. Pretty routine play on the ground. It was going to be a single for Tommy Gooden, but instead he ended up at second after Smith whiffed on the pickup. Downstairs for ball 1. After his first season at Northwest Nazarene, he spent 3 seasons at UCSD. The 2023 season he missed due to injury. Smith helping the pitcher out here, chasing one outside the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. 91 on the radar gun. Inside for ball 2. After those seasons at UCSD, transferred to Azusa Pacific, where he made 14 appearances this past spring. Breaking ball finds his zone for strike 2. He recorded 7 saves for the Azusa Pacific baseball program. Finished with an ERA of 6.75. Pitched 14 2/3 of an inning. Swing and miss, the 3rd strikeout of the outing. That's out number 2 here in the top of the second. Tornero really feeling it. Been effective early on for the Barons and head coach Kenny Landreau. They're working with a 3-0 lead. Downstairs for ball 1. In steps the first baseman, Brendan Comerford. One ball, 1 strike. Comerford spent these last 2 years at Ohlone College, which is over in Fremont. Fremont is in the Bay Area, over on the East Bay. Currently looking for a new home after 2 years at the junior college level. 2 balls and 1 strike to Comerford. Comerford hit .356 last year in 43 games, 15 home runs for Ohlone College. Another breaking ball on the inner half. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tornero hoping for a 1-2-3 inning. In the bottom of the second, we'll see the top of the order due up for the Barons. Williams will lead things off. Foul ball to the right side. We'll do it again. Tornero used 18 pitches to get out of the first inning, currently at 33-15 for the inning. Two balls, two strikes, two outs. Tornero gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Upstairs. Ball 3. Batter on deck is Camden Andrews, catcher. The full count pitch from Tornero, just tapped foul towards the netting. Some late break on that pitch. Three balls and two strikes to the first baseman, Comerford. It was a ground out to the first baseman. For the first out, Gavin Smith was retired via the strikeout for out number 2. Tornero with another 3-2 pitch. This one down in the dirt. He loses Comerford to the free pass. Comerford will stroll to first, and now comes the catcher, Camden Andrews. Two outs in the inning. Schmidt will hold the runner at first. Remember, the sun does play a factor on the right side of the field. Right now, the sun is in the face of Schmidt, the first baseman, Williams, the second baseman, and as well as the right fielder, Jacob Klanowski. Andrews steps in, awaits the first pitch from the lefty. Sails above the zone for strike for ball 1. Just misses the zone. 2 balls and no strikes. Andrews just finished his sophomore season at San Francisco State University. Swing and miss there, 90 miles per hour on the radar gun. Tailing away from the right-handed hitter. Andrews making his 6th start on the year. Now ties Nico Button for the most as a catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the inner half that time. Comerford with a small lead at first base. Tornero with the 2-2. Foul ball to the right side. Last pitch was number 40. Two balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Comerford, the runner at first base. Andrews in the batter's box. Here's Tornero's pitch. Another foul ball to the same side, to the right. Batter on deck is Diego Murillo. If the Blues can extend the inning. The 2-2 one more time is punched into right center. Ranging to his left is Lujan. Lujan overplays it. And moving over to third base is now Comerford. No one comes to score, but there's runners at the corners. Big single there for Andrews. That extends the inning for the 9-hitter. Really making Tornero work after picking up his first 2 outs relatively quickly in this inning. There's a pitch up in the zone, and Andrews didn't get great contact, but he was able to lift it into right center, right in between Lujan and Klanowski. In steps the second baseman, Murillo. Taylor has to reach up to make that grab. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 to the second baseman is a foul ball to the right side. 1-1 the count. Murillo was a junior this past season over at Northeastern Oklahoma University. Played 51 games. Before that, he spent 2 years at Cuesta College. He's a native to San Luis Obispo, so coming home after spending the spring in Oklahoma. Now Tornero's going to step off. Not on the same page with catcher Gavin Taylor. Andrews over at first base, Comerford at third. 2 outs in the inning. Right on the paint at 91. One ball and 2 strikes. Another foul ball here by Murillo and the Blues batters. Making Tornero throw a lot of pitches. He worked a full count to the first batter. Had Smith in a 2-2 count before the strikeout. Full count to Comerford before the walk, and then a full count to Camden Andrews. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Murillo lifts this one into left field down the line. That's going to be trouble as Del Villar didn't have a chance to get to it. Now getting the wave at third base is Andrews. It's a 2 RBI double there for the Blues, and now they trail 3-2. So right in the corner, Murillo was able to churn on the pitch, down and in. Wasn't in the strike zone, but he was able to find the bat head to it. Del Villar was shaded towards the gap, and so he had a long way to go to that one. Andrew scored from first. Comerford scored easily from third base. Now go to the top of the order, and Sam Ardois. He grounded out to the third baseman, Nielsen, to start things off in today's game. To move over to second, Williams was there, but no throw from Tornero. Runner in scoring position. Barons lead 3-2. First pitch in the zone for strike 1. Next pitch will be number 50 already on the outing for Tornero. Pokes this foul towards the stands. No balls and 2 strikes. Ardois spent this past spring at the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Made 27 starts. He was at the University of Texas before that. His freshman year there. Sophomore year at the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Upstairs, Taylor had to use every inch of his reach there to grab that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the shortstop. 2 runs have come across. Murillo's still at second. The 1-2 from Tornero. Upstairs for ball 2. We mentioned 18 pitches to get out of the first inning. Now at 51 here in the outing. Pokes this onto the right side to Klanovsky. Klanovsky will have to play this off the wall. The third run comes across for the Blues. Now racing around second, heading for third is Ardois. Here's the throw from Williams. Nielsen applies the tag. And the third base umpire calls him safe. That was a great relay from Klanovsky to Williams. The throw and the tag beat him. But the third base umpire says that is safe. The run would have scored regardless, but instead of being the third out, now Tornero will have to work a little extra hard to get the figurative 4th out of the inning. Missed call there by the third base umpire. It's an RBI. I guess it'll stand as a triple for Ardois off the right field wall. Things are all tied up now at 3 apiece here in the top of the second. Tornero was able to get the first 2 outs relatively smoothly, but it was a walk, then a single, then a 2 RBI double by Murillo, and then the RBI, we'll call it a triple for Ardois. Ardois stands at third base. In steps Brady Alvis, the third baseman. Looks foolish on the swing there. Breaking ball down and in. 0-1 the count. Alvis had the first single of the game for the visiting Blues. They're in the gray uniforms, gray bottoms, blue on their shoulder pad. One and one the count. Seventh man to come to the plate this half of the inning. Foul ball to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tornero's done a nice job of getting ahead of hitters or getting the hitter to a 2-strike count. Has had to work really hard, though, to finish off batters here in the top of the second. 4 straight have reached. On the inner half, that froze the batter, and Alvis is retired. A strikeout looking to end the inning. However, not before the Blues push across 3 runs, and it's a brand new ball game as we head to the bottom of the second. The top of the order due up. Nathaniel Williams will get things started after this break. Back here at the MLB Youth Academy for the second of 3 home games this week. The next will come on Sunday as the Barons get set to take on the Conejo Oaks. First pitch scheduled at 1:05. That's this Sunday, June 22nd. It's already the 3rd week. I guess you could say second full week since the season started on a Friday for the Barons and the rest of the CCL. But it's the second full week now. The Barons have yet to lose on a Friday. Currently in a tie ball game. 3-3 is the score. Williams steps in for his second at-bat of the evening. Jackson Howell still on the mound after giving up 3 runs off of 2 hits. He hit a batter and also walked 3. First pitch downstairs. He used 33 pitches in the first inning. We'll see how things shake out in the bottom of the second. Outside for ball 2. Williams is playing second, and into the spring season, was planning on playing third base for the Santa Ana Dons. Inside for ball 3. However, Williams was asked to play a lot of different places this past spring due to all the injuries that the Dons faced this spring. He made 34 starts, 16 of those were in left field. 7 at third base, 7 at first base, 3 at the DH, and 1 in center field. And because of that, he was named first team all-conference for the utility position. Finished the spring hitting .317 as a true freshman for the Santa Ana Dons. One of the top baseball programs at the junior college level here in Southern California. 3 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out, nobody on. Bottom second. Howell delivers, and this misses inside. Williams works the walk. He's on board for the second time this evening. A single back in the first. He came around to score. In steps DJ Akiyama. Good size lead at first base. William doesn't go, but he takes off after the wild pitch gets past the catcher, Andrews, and now Williams is at second base. Seems like Howell hasn't been very comfortable there on the mound. Did pick up 2 outs after giving up the leadoff single to Williams in the bottom of the first, but then walked the batter, gave up a single to Gooden, hit a batter, and then walked 2 straight before getting the third and final out. 3 runs came across for the Barons. Foul ball to the right side. Akiyama is a native to Ea, Hawaii. Been around the country this collegiate career. 2022, he was a freshman at St. Martin's University in Washington. Then played at Hartnell Junior College, which is over in Salinas, pretty close to San Luis Obispo, or closer to San Luis Obispo than it is Compton. Foul ball off the glove of the catcher. 2024. So Williams is standing at third and took off on what is now going to be ruled a wild pitch. There's going to be a conversation with head coach Dean Trainer and the home plate umpire. From up here, it looked like a foul ball and maybe sounded like a foul ball too from Akiyama, who swung, but the home plate umpire calls it a swing and miss. Now after the conversation, the umpires are going to have a conversation amongst themselves in the infield grass. Williams is standing at third base. And Akiyama did offer at the pitch. However, it came up empty according to the home plate umpire, and it got past the catcher, which allowed Williams to move from second to third. Trainer's asked to go to the dugout before the umpires have their conversation. And my name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Barons had 3 home games this week. They lost on Tuesday in their first home game to the San Diego Bombers. 4-3 was the final score in that one. They were on the road Wednesday and lost to the Conejo Oaks by a score of 19-6. They had yesterday off. They take on the San Luis Obispo Blues tonight. They travel to Thousand Oaks for the second time this week to take on the Conejo Oaks tomorrow. First pitch scheduled at 4. They rule him safe, so Williams will be aboard at third base. 2 wild pitches allow him to move 90 feet from home plate. And then on Sunday, the Barons will finish the week hosting the Oaks. They'll face the Oaks 3 times this week, one of the better teams in the California Collegiate League. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Akiyama awaits the pitch with Williams at third base. It's now a 2 ball and 2 strike count. But after 2023 at Hartnell, transferred to University of Hawaii, but he missed that season due to an injury and lost the 2024 year. Chops this over to the third baseman, looks the runner back to third, and fires on home. The infield was in, and that's the first out of the inning. Good concentration there by Brady Alvis, the third baseman. In steps Trevor Schmidt. We'll reset that defense for you as well. Camden Andrews behind home plate. Comerford's at first base. Over at second, it's Murillo. Ardois at short. Alvarez at third. Infield still in for the Blues. Schmidt with one out watches the first pitch miss upstairs. Lifts this one into left field. Over towards Smith. He plays this on a hop, and it's an RBI single as William touches home plate. Fourth run of the game. Barons lead 4-3. That pitch caught a lot of the zone there, and Schmidt took it the other way. A very good hitter here in the middle of the lineup this summer for the Academy Barons. Can hit for power, but also can hit for average, and that time drives in a run. He's now aboard at first base. There's one out in the inning. In steps Gavin Taylor, who flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Skies this one into left field. Smith ranging to his right, and he couldn't play it on the hop. Off the bat, it looked like Taylor might have got a hold of that one, but he didn't quite catch the barrel. Back-to-back singles. And that brings up another talented hitter. And Tommy Gooden. Time is called as now Dean Traynor is going to make his way to the mound. Second mound visit of the outing. First here in the inning, and Traynor pointed towards the bullpen. So that'll be the end of the day for Jackson Howell. That last pitch was his 47th. He goes an inning and a third. We'll get you more of his final statistics after this break. We'll go ahead and tell you the new pitcher as well, or get you that new number as we await for a clearing in that mound visit between Traynor and the rest of the infield. Barons lead 4-3. Runners on first and second. New hitter will be Tommy Gooden. It's going to be a lefty on the mound. We're going to wait to see what that number is. Looks like it's number 38, Chase Vialli. So we'll tell you a little bit more about Chase Vialli when we come back from this break. So Chase Vialli is the new pitcher on the mound for the San Luis Obispo Blues. He'll make his third appearance, his second out of the bullpen. He did make a start back on June 6 against the Menlo Legends. Last appearance was out of the bullpen against the San Francisco Seagulls. 2 appearances on the year. He's gone 4 2/3 innings of work, an ERA of 5.78. He's a left-hander, stands at 6'1". He just finished his freshman season at Cuesta College. He's a native of Atascadero, California, over in the Central Close, in between San Luis Obispo and Paso Robles, in case you're wondering. Small little town over there. So he's the new pitcher, replacing Jackson Howell. Tommy Gooden will step in. Lefty-on-lefty matchup here. In the bottom of the second, Barons lead 4-3. First pitch, plunks Gooden. Bases are now loaded. Taylor will go to second. Schmidt goes to third base. Gooden's at second or at first base. Chase Viali, new pitcher.
Number 23, Jason DeLeon.
In steps Jason Del Villar. Played at Sonoma State this past spring. Bases loaded, 1 out. Swings and misses at the first one. First baseman Comerford playing at the edge of the grass. Third baseman Alvarez plays even with the bag. The rest of the infield in regular depth. Second pitch in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Andrews. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Del Villar. Viali made 17 appearances for Cuesta this past spring. Finished with an ERA of 4.38 in 37 innings. Had a record of 3-0. Also picked up a save. Del Villar smacks this into right field, tailing away from Jordan. It one hops the wall. Schmidt will touch home plate. Taylor gets the wave, and he touches home plate after Andrews can't apply the tag quick enough. A 2 RBI double for Del Villar, and the Barons jump out to a 6-3 lead.
Number 18, Jacob Klanowski.
Fifth hit of the game for the Barons already. The infield's going to play in with runners at the second, with second at third. Lefty on lefty matchup for Viali as he takes on Klanowski now for the first time. Away for ball 1. Klanowski worked a walk against Howell in his first at bat. He ran the count full and was patient enough to work the base on balls. Fouls this into the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 6-3 Barons lead here in the bottom of the second. Only 1 out in the inning. 2 runners on. Gooden's at third, and Del Villar is at second. Breaking ball, and that fooled Klanowski as he was ready to duck out the way. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Antonio Lujan, the switch hitter, on deck. Here's the 1-2 to Klanowski, and he fouls this off towards the bullpen for the Barons in left field. Infield still in for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Viali gets the sign. Here's the 1-2. Klanowski lays off. Fastball upstairs. Viali still looking for his first out. Came in with bases loaded and 1 out in the inning. Hit the first batter he saw and then gave up a 2 RBI double. Klanowski checks his swing. Home plate umpire says he went around to strike out. 2-3 on the putout as Andrews had to throw over to first base. None of the runners advance. Pretty tough on that lefty on lefty breaking ball. Klanowski wasn't able to slow his swing down. In steps Antonio Lujan. He's a switch hitter. I think he's only had 1 or 2 other at-bats here at the academy to hit from the right side. 3 switch hitters in the lineup for Kenny Landreau today. Nathaniel Williams, DJ Akiyama, Antonio Lujan slaps this foul towards the right side. 0-1 the count to the center fielder. He drew a walk back in the bottom of the first inning that scored another run. Barons got 3 in the first and have 3 runs so far in the second. They lead 6-3. There's 2 outs. Infield will back up with 2 outs now, and the play's at first. Outside for ball 1. Starter Jackson Howell chased after an inning and a third. Used 47 pitches. Gave up all 6 runs here in his outing. As Taylor and Schmidt came around to score, Gooden didn't want to test it as Andrews was able to block it and keep it close. Right on the edge of the grass here you see on the screen. Gooden didn't get a great read on it. Decides not to go. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Good work there by the catcher, Camden Andrews, to at least keep it close by and prevent a run from scoring. 8th man to come to the plate here for the Barons in this inning. Lujan fouls off this pitch. Moves the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lujan went to Cypress High School, one of the better public high school programs over in Orange County. Play a lot of tough competition. Play a lot of the private schools like Mater Dei and Servite, Orange Lutheran during the regular season. Two balls and 2 strikes. Here's a pitch from Viali. Downstairs for ball 3. Batter on deck is J.J. Nielsen. Nielsen on deck, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gooden is at third base. Del Villar at second. 2 outs in the inning. Viali with the pitch. On the ground towards the middle of the infield, ranging to his left is Ardois. An accurate throw. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. 3 more runs come across here for the Barons. They now have a 6-3 lead as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Thanks again for tuning in, wherever you may be tuning in from. When we come back, we'll have the 3, 4, 5 hitters, Logan Hart, Donovan Jordan, and Andrew Raymond when we come back. New pitcher on the mound for the Academy Barons in the top of the 3rd. We'll get you the final line for Joel Tornero. The new pitcher to tell you about is Adrian Blanchette. He wears number 34. He stands at 6'4". Spent this past spring at the University of California, Riverside. It's his third appearance of the summer. He has been effective for the Barons, and head coach Kenny Landreau this year hasn't given up a run in 2 innings of work. Does have 3 strikeouts. The big right-hander. Face the 3, 4, 5 hitters. High chopper to Schmidt. Schmidt had to wait patiently and does tap the bag for the first out. 3 unassisted.
Number 18, right fielder Donovan Jordan.
Now we'll see Donovan Jordan. Cleanup hitter here for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Very talented player, looking for a new home after entering the transfer portal after this spring with the University of Texas. First pitch misses the zone, not by much. 1-0 the count. Foul ball off the top of the netting here. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blanchette was on the team last year for the Academy Barons. Was one of the few arms that could touch 90 pretty consistently with his fastball. Control was an issue last summer. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. This is the 3rd appearance of this summer for Adrian Blanchette, but last year he made 9 appearances, pitched 10 1/3 innings, gave up 12 walks. Smacks this one into left field. It has the distance, but does it carry foul? It is a foul ball. 104 off the bat. Jordan was able to find the barrel, but unable to keep it fair. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Blanchette with the 2-2. Upstairs, Jordan has to duck out of the way. Full count to the cleanup hitter. Andrew Raymond is the batter on deck. One out, nobody on base. Bloops this into the air. Schmidt coming in from the first base position into foul territory and makes the catch for out number 2. Two outs quickly. Adrian Blanchette has done that all summer. In his 3rd appearance for the Barons and head coach Kenny Landreau. In steps the number 5 hitter, Andrew Raymond. He grounded out to the first baseman, Schmidt. The sun is still in Schmidt's face. However, Williams and Klonowski, both in the shadows. The lights have been turned on here at the MLB Youth Academy. Foul tips into the glove. Blanchette went to Capistrani Valley Christian High School. And then out of high school, committed to USC, was a redshirt during the 2024 season. Didn't make any appearances for the Trojans. Entered the transfer portal and is now a member of the UCR baseball team. On the ground over to Schmidt in foul territory, so that will move the count to no balls and 2 strikes. No balls and 2 strikes to Raymond, the DH. There's 2 outs in the inning, no one on base. Barons lead 6-3. We'll have 2 more interviews here for you on the broadcast later on. Top of the 4th inning, we're expecting Alejandro Torres. And then Joel Tornero will come on in the top of the 6th. The 0-2, another foul ball off the leg of Raymond. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, we'll see the 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Academy Barons. Nielsen, Williams, and Akiyama, 3 infielders. Outside, look like the changeup there for Blanchette. Righty to lefty, drifting away from the left-handed hitter. Raymond shows good discipline there to lay off that pitch. Tapper over to the first baseman, Schmidt. And Schmidt is responsible for all 3 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Blanchette sounds down the Blues hitters in order. 1-2-3 inning. We'll stay on during this half-inning break. We do want to say thank you for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from, whether you're watching live or the replay at a later date. We also want to say, if you're tuning in to follow one of the players here on the Barons roster, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll stream all the home games live from the MLB Youth Academy, in case you can't make it out and watch the game in person. You'll get a notification every time we go live. We typically try to go live about 10 minutes before, give you a quick pregame show, and preview both the teams playing. The other home game this weekend will be on Sunday. First pitch scheduled at 1:05. We'll go live about 12:55 as the Barons will host the Conejo Oaks for the 2nd time this season. It'll be the 3rd time this week they take on the Conejo Oaks. And my name is Noah Alvarez, saying thanks for tuning in. Bottom of the 3rd, J.J. Nielsen, followed by Nathaniel Williams and DJ Akiyama. If you look at the schedule up ahead, tomorrow they'll be on the road to take on the Conejo Oaks at Thousand Oaks. We mentioned that Sunday they'll host the Oaks for the final game of the weekend. They'll have Mondays off as they typically do here in the CCL. And then next week, they'll have Tuesday and Wednesday here at home. Tuesday they'll host the Philippines national team. Wednesday they'll host the OC Riptide. Both games are scheduled at 6:05. They'll have Thursday off before traveling to Jackie Robinson Field over in Pasadena to take on the Saints on Friday, June 27th. At Saturday, they'll return back home to take on the Philippines team. First pitch scheduled at 6:05. Those are the 3 home games next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. In steps J.J. Nielsen, grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat, 0 for 1. Still on the mound for the San Luis Obispo Blues is the left-hander Chase Viali. Jackson Howell started the game, but only went an inning and 3rd. Two 2-0 the count. Upstairs for ball 3. 3 straight misses here from the lefty from Cuesta College. The starter, Jackson Howell, also from Cuesta. It's the local community college to San Luis Obispo. 4 misses. It's an easy free pass here for Nielsen to start the inning off. Barons are hoping to keep the good times going. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second. We'll see how many they could get in the bottom of the 3rd. Williams will hit from the right side. Just like Lujan and Akiyama, switch hitters in the lineup. Fun fact about Williams, he has 2 older brothers, James and Thomas. All 3 brothers played the infield, but all 3 are switch hitters. All 3 also played at Santa Ana College. His middle brother, Thomas, spent this past spring at University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Move over to first base, Nielsen back in with the slide. We saw Thomas Williams play for the San Diego Bombers twice already this season here at the Academy. Pretty cool moment for the Williams brothers. Nathaniel swings and misses that one. Downstairs, and that's an 0-2 count. Williams went 4 for 5 in the loss Tuesday to the Conejo Oaks. Finished with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Another throw over to check in on Nielsen, and he's back in safely. Comerford, the first baseman, is holding. On the ground over to the third baseman. Alvis can't glove it cleanly. Will still try to make a throw to first and cannot do so in time. So what could have been a double play, instead the Blues don't get anybody out.
Coming to the plate for the Barons, number 17, DJ Akiyama.
An infield single for Nathaniel Williams. Runners on the first and second. Now the corners are prepared to crash as if Akiyama's going to lay down a bunt. Middle infield and double play depth. Akiyama takes downstairs for ball 1. Nobody out. 2 runners on. Akiyama rips this, but it goes foul. 1-1 to count to the shortstop. Another switch hitter in the lineup for head coach Kenny Landreau. Breaking ball misses upstairs. If you look at the lineup today, there's 3 switch hitters, 3 left-handed hitters, and 3 right-handed hitters. Pretty good balance for the Barons today. Trevor Schmidt, the left-handed hitting first baseman, is on deck. Runner takes off for third. Nielsen will get in without a throw. Pitch was downstairs, and Andrews never had a chance. Williams didn't follow, so he's over at first base still. First and third. Chance for the Barons to pick up some more runs. Skies this into the air, and it does carry foul. Out of play. There's activity in the bullpen for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Here's the payoff pitch. Akiyama lays off. A pitch upstairs. The bases are now loaded. It's pitch number 30 of the outing for Chase Viali. He used 17 pitches to get out of the second inning, pick up the final 2 outs in relief of Jackson Howell. Walked the first batter here in the third, gave up a single, an infield single to Williams. Now looks like Dean Traynor is going to call time and make another mound visit here for the Blues. And thanks for tuning in to Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. Last year, the Barons hosted the Blues early on in the season. It was back on June 12th. The Blues came out victorious by a score of 7-1. Because they're a team that plays in the North Division, that was the only time we saw them here at the Academy. However, the Barons did travel to San Luis Obispo on the weekend of July 20th to take on the Blues in San Luis Obispo. They lost that game 5-2. So they went 0-2 against the Blues last year. Again, the Barons are here in the CCL South. The Blues are in the CCL North Division. San Luis Obispo right on the Central Coast, right in the middle of California. Schmidt puts this on the ground over to the second baseman. Rio will try and turn two over to first. It pulls the first baseman off the bag. So 4-6. Fielder's choice. One more run scores. It's a 7-3 game. An RBI ground out for Schmidt. RBI fielder's choice, correction. Nielsen scores. Williams goes to third. Runners at the corners. Schmidt's at first base. Comerford will hold. Foul ball off the catcher's mask. Andrew seems okay. 0-1 the count to Gavin Taylor. Taylor's 1 for 1 on the evening, has scored twice. Singled in the second, drew a walk in the first. Breaking ball. Going to second base is Trevor Schmidt on the wild pitch. Now 2 runners in scoring position. The Blues will move to the edge of the grass all across the infield. Schmidt at second, Williams at first base. Taylor awaits the 1-1. Smacks this into left field. Going back is Smith towards the track. It's over the wall. A 3-run home run for Gavin Taylor in the bottom of the third. It's now a 10-3 game. A pitch down in the zone. Taylor was able to find the barrel. Traveled 358 feet, an exit speed of 99, just short of 100. 3 runs come across on the home run. 10-3 is the score. The bases are clear for Tommy Gooden. Chase Vialli hoping to stop the bleeding. It's a first pitch strike to Gooden on the edge of the zone. Gooden was the first batter that Vialli faced coming out of the bullpen. And Vialli hit Gooden on the very first pitch of the at-bat. Breaking ball upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul ball into the net. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still only 1 out in the inning. Next pitch will be number 38 for Vialli. This is the 4th game in 4 days for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Plus the travel they had to do to get down here. Ball downstairs for a 2 ball and 2 strike count. They left at 9 a.m. today. Got to the ballpark around 4 p.m. So a very long day traveling. We'll stay in Southern California before playing the Riptide tomorrow. Upstairs for ball 3. Gooden had to duck out of the way. Next pitch will be number 40 for Chase Vialli. Three ball, 2 strikes. Gooden awaits the pitch. Downstairs, an easy take. Andrews has to chase this ball. Gooden has reached now 3 times in today's contest. And there's a signal over towards the bullpen. So Dean Traynor going to another arm. Having to use 3 arms already here as we're in the bottom of the third. Barons lead 10-3. Jackson Howell only went an inning and a third. There's currently only 1 out in the inning thus far, so Chase Vialli's day is done after 1 full inning. Used 40 exact pitches. We'll get you the rest of this line after this break. We'll go ahead and wait for the number on the new pitcher as well. So the new pitcher will wear number 27. He's a right-hander by the name of Hunter Hammond. So we'll tell you a little bit more about Hammond after this break. Back here on the MLB Youth Academy, Barron's YouTube channel. A new pitcher to tell you about for the San Luis Obispos. So it's not Hunter Hammond on the mound, it's Wyatt Fisher. Want to make sure we get that correct for you. He's a right-hander from Cincinnati, Ohio. Spent this past year at Cedarville University. Stands at 6'1", just finished his junior season. First pitch to Del Villar, cut on and missed. So Wyatt Fisher, the new pitcher, a runner on first base. Gooden has a small lead. Second pitch of the at-bat, misses upstairs. Third pitcher of the evening we're seeing here for head coach Dean Trainer. 2-1 the count. Easy takes here for Del Villar. He hit the 2 RBI double in the second. Barons have 10 runs off of 6 hits. A lot of walks here issued by the Barons or the Blues pitching staff. 3 balls and 1 strike to count. 4 walks issued by the starter Jackson Howell. 3 by the reliever Chase Vialli. That's 7 walks total. Upstairs, a bit inside, and that's ball 4. Runners on first and second. The final lines for both the pitchers that we've seen for the Blues. Howell went an inning and a third. Used 47 pitches. Gave up 6 runs. All of those were earned. Issued 4 hits and 4 walks. Chase Vialli used 40 pitches. Went a full inning. Did pick up 1 strikeout. Gave up 3 hits and 3 walks. Responsible for the runner on second and Gooden. Upstairs to Klinowski, ball 1. Just past the first baseman, and it's going to go foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to count by a matter of inches. In 109 innings entering today's contest, the Blues pitching staff has issued 55 walks. That's strike 2. Breaking ball finds the back door. Team ERA entering today's contest was 4.21. It's going to balloon up a little bit after today's performance by the Blues. 1-2, breaking ball misses upstairs. Konofsky's 0 for 1. He drew a walk in the first, struck out swinging in the second against the lefty Chase Viali. Now facing the right-handed pitcher, Wyatt Fisher. In the air, in play for Alvis. Ball drifts back into the field of play and he makes the catch. Infield fly rule was called by the umpires. That's out number 2. Ninth man to come to the plate for the Academy Barons here in the bottom of the third. 4 runs have already come across. There's runners on first and second. Gooden is at second. Del Villar is at first. In steps Antonio Lujan, third at bat of the evening. 0 for 1, a ground out to short. Drew a walk in his first at bat. High chopper off home plate. Fisher has to await the big hop. Fumbles it as it goes out of his glove. Things going from bad to worse here for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Third error defensively by the San Luis Obispo Blues. Both teams were pretty comparable in the error category. Barons had 16 errors entering today. Blues had 15. Of course, the Blues have played 12 games this season. The Barons, this is their 10th. First pitch misses outside to Nielsen. Want to know the count, 2 outs. Wyatt Fisher, the new pitcher, third pitcher of the evening for the Blues. Nielsen fouls this to the right side. In the top of the 4th inning, we'll have the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Gavin Smith, Brendan Comerford, and Camden Andrews. 3 batters due up for the Blues. We'll see who's on the mound. Skies this one into center field, going back. His Hart has enough time to camp under it and make the catch for out number 3. Another big inning here for the Barons. They've picked up now 3 innings, 3 runs in the first inning, 3 runs in the second, and now 4 here in the third. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in. We'll come back after this quick break and have an interview for you here on the broadcast. Back here on the MLB Youth Academy channel. Top of the 4th inning. Gavin Smith will lead things off here in the top of the inning. Adrian Blanchette still on the mound. Grounder over to the third baseman. Nielsen comes up firing. Schmidt makes a pick at first base, and that's the first out of the inning. So here in the top of the 4th inning, we do have an interview with outfielder Alejandro Torres. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Doing great. Thank you for making the time. I heard you're a Sacramento native, correct?
Yes, sir.
What do you miss most about being up at home?
It's definitely just miss my family and friends, all my close ones. You can't get that anywhere else. But as far as the baseball atmosphere goes, I enjoy playing in SoCal a lot more than NorCal, definitely.
If you could share with the listeners how your baseball journey led you here down to Southern California.
So I graduated high school in 2019. From there, I went to Sac City. I'm a JUCO product, and the second year being at City, COVID was in place, and it was a 10 to 12 game season. So I opted out of playing there, and I had the opportunity to go play overseas in Germany for a whole season for about 7 months with my older brother. And then after that, came back to City for my quote-unquote third year, and then eventually transferred out to Hope International, and I still play overseas to this day.
How did that opportunity to play in Germany come about?
My older brother, he went to Sac City as well, and then he transferred into Long Beach. And after he graduated Long Beach, he got into independent ball and started playing baseball overseas. So once that came about, he kind of just stuck out his arm for me and asked them if they needed an outfielder, and that's how that came about.
So Blanchett picks up the second out of the inning via the strikeout. We're chatting here with Alejandro Torres, an outfielder for the Academy Barons. I also heard, too, you played for the Greek national team, too. How did that opportunity come about?
Same type of way. I gotta give the credit to my brother once again on that. He got recruited for that when he was in college playing summer ball in Regina, Canada. And once they found out he was Greek and recruited him for the team, they found out about me being his little brother. And I guess I fit in right there, right then and there.
Were you pretty competitive with your brother growing up?
Oh, definitely. He's older brother, so he always had the upper hand on me, being 4 years older than me. But now since we're both relatively older now and both play on the same teams, we kind of go back and forth now. But I still tip my cap to him.
And we're here with Alejandro Torres. This is your second summer with the Academy Barons in a row. How are you enjoying the summer this year compared to last year?
I enjoy it a lot more this year since I'm healthy without a broken elbow or a partial tear in the labrum. So I'm glad to be out here and being able to play with these guys. And I really appreciate the coaching staff that we have here. It's not a lot of places where you get the type of coaching that we do here.
What have you learned, or what's the lesson that you've learned here at the Academy with this coaching staff?
As simple as it sounds, the best piece of hitting advice that all of them will say if they can only give one piece of hitting advice is see ball, hit ball. They keep everything relatively simple, but everything that's simple has a very deep meaning behind it, and that's their job to explain to us why it just comes down to see ball, hit ball. They teach us everything that goes into that to make it that simple. So that's what I really enjoy about this coaching staff. It's bigger than just a game to them.
There's a runner on first base, 2 outs after Blanchett hit Andrews. Diego Murillo now the batter in the batter's box with an 0-1 count. We're chatting here with Alejandro Torres. How did the opportunity come about to play here at the Academy Barons?
Through the academy, once again, my older brother, he had a job here working with the youth academy, and he was helping out with everyone. So once he was working here and I needed a home for summer ball, he kind of reached out to TJ, KT, told him a little bit about me, and that's kind of how I got my home here.
How have things gone at Hope International University?
Hope was good. We went back-to-back years making it to the Final Four. Last year we were able to pull off and get a ring. Unfortunately, I couldn't help contribute as much as I wanted to, having a broken elbow, but this year we just came up a little bit short.
Runner on first. 0-2 count to Diego Murillo, the second baseman. Another foul ball. So I have a question for, since now you've lived in Northern California and Southern California. Who has the better Mexican food?
Ooh. Unbiased. If my mother did not live up north,
Okay.
I would say SoCal.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to give credit to my mom here.
Yeah, you can't be mom's cooking.
Yeah, so NorCal's best for food in general, just because that's where I can get home cooked meals. But if we take my mom out the equation, SoCal.
I went to Sacramento State, so I got to
Okay.
spend some time in Sacramento,
Mhm.
and I learned very quickly that the Mexican food at like any restaurant that you go to, very different from the food down
For
here
sure,
in
it's
Southern
good.
California.
It's just not here.
Exactly. It's just not here. Into the air, into shallow right field. Williams camps under it and makes the third and final out. Do you have any favorite rappers from Sacramento? You listen to
Oh,
Mozzie at all?
A little bit of Mozzie here and there, but for the most part, big on D Steez, DB Bout a Bag, Lil Smack. Those are probably my top three out there.
Okay. Couple
Yeah.
more questions before we let you go. What's your favorite baseball movie?
Ooh, it's not technically a full-fledged baseball movie, but baseball's with. Nah, I can't go Bronx Tale. I was gonna go Bronx Tale, but probably just the standard Sandlot. You can't go wrong with Sandlot at all.
Do you have a favorite snack in the dugout?
Ooh. Nothing like some good old chewable jerky.
Chewable jerky, okay.
Nothing like throwing in a fake lip.
Any like teriyaki, any flavor that you like
sweet
more?
teriyaki every time.
Sweet teriyaki.
Every time.
Right on, right on. What's your game day routine looking like?
Game day routine. Report time is 2:30, so I normally get to the academy around 11, between 11 and 12 o'clock each day. Get here, stretch out, roll out, get a couple jogs in, and then get in the cages, do all of my pregame hitting routine, and then from then on, get ready to get on the field for BP at 3 o'clock.
Again, this is Alejandro Torres that we're chatting with here. As we move to the bottom of the fourth, we'll have the top of the order. What's one thing you hope to clean up on your game this summer during the academy season?
Consistency. Coach Bishop, he preaches three things: mentality, preparation, and adjustments. So me personally, I feel like just being an older guy, my preparation is there, my mentality is there. It's the adjustments and how consistent can you make your adjustments. So for me, it's just how consistent can I continue to stay inside the ball instead of coming around. So that would probably be the biggest thing I'm focusing on, is narrowing in and being very good at making my adjustments.
Last question for you. Is there a favorite restaurant that you have up in Sacramento that you miss the most?
Kiki's.
Kiki's. What type of food is
Kiki's
that?
chicken place. Chicken and fries.
Chicken and fries, okay.
Chicken and fries. You go.
Where in Sac is it?
There's a couple places. You can go on J Street downtown. You can go Howe Avenue. You can go on Marconi, or you can go on Watt. It's a few different places, even in the Thomas. But Kiki's Chicken Palace, and you get the, depending if you're really hungry, you get a large, and it's going to be a lot of food.
Okay.
And you get the sweet barbecue and buffalo mixture, and then it comes with ranch and cheese on it every time.
Okay, beautiful. Make sure you check out Kiki's if you're up in the Sacramento area. Again, that's Alejandro Torres joining us on the broadcast. It was a pleasure having you on. Enjoy the rest of the season. We're looking forward to watching you play.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
All right, beautiful. Three and one the count to Nathaniel Williams. And that one misses downstairs. 4-1. That's a ball four. Williams will go to first base. DJ Akiyama now comes up. The Barons lead 10-3 here in the bottom of the fourth. Thanks again to Alejandro Torres for joining us on the broadcast. And we're trying to have more interviews this summer season as we have different equipment to work with. Having players on, having parents on, having coaches on eventually as well. In steps Akiyama, the first pitch from the reliever, Wyatt Fisher. Williams hesitated, and the tag is applied by Ardois. It was a pitch that just popped out of the glove, and because Williams hesitated, he was halfway to second on the throw down from the catcher, Camden Andrews. Scored that 2-6 on the tag. That's the first out of the inning. Akiyama smacks this into right field. Jordan will cut it off before it gets to the wall. Makes a strong throw into second. Could have been runners on first and second, however, after the base running error by Williams. Just runners on first. Akiyama at first, 1 out in the inning. In steps Trevor Schmidt. Akiyama has a big lead over at first base. First pitch, breaking ball. Caught a lot of the plate. Schmidt takes it for ball 1. 0-1 the count to Schmidt. Another breaking ball, also in the zone. 0-2 the count. Schmidt hit into a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. 1 for 2. Another breaking ball from Fisher, and this is upstairs. One ball and 2 strike to count, 1 out. Gavin Taylor is the batter on deck. Barons lead 10-3 in the bottom of the 4th. Skies this one into right field. Jordan comes in. We'll play this on a hop. High throw over to the third baseman, and Fisher, the pitcher, was backing up the throw and makes the athletic grab. Back-to-back singles here by the Barons. Runners on first and second, 1 out in the inning. Another RBI opportunity for Gavin Taylor. He hit the 3-run home run back in the bottom of the 3rd. Gavin Taylor, the brother of Colin Taylor. Colin Taylor with the night off this evening. Both Gavin and Colin trained at the academy growing up. Akiyama started to go to third base, but retreats back to second. 1-0 the count. One out in the inning. Upstairs for ball 2. So Fisher gets a warning by the second base umpire. I think he was he was licking his fingers and then going to the ball directly. You have to wipe it off before you touch the ball. Schmidt at first, Akiyama at second. The 2-0, down and away, ball 3. Batter on deck is Tommy Gooden. In the first inning, the Barons sent 9 men to the plate. 8 in the second, 9 in the third. It's in there for strike 1. Barons have pushed across 3 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third. They lead 10-3. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Big breaking ball. That misses the zone. And now the bases are loaded. 2 singles and a walk here in the bottom of the 4th. In steps the freshman from Vanderbilt, Tommy Gooden. He drew a walk in his last at-bat, was hit by a pitch in the second, and had the RBI single in the first. A lot of offense here for the Barons. Their batting average will go up as a team. Tomorrow they'll travel to Thousand Oaks. Skies this into the air. Alvis going towards the bullpen. It's the shortstop who calls him off and drops the ball. Ardois had it in his glove as he was entering the bullpen over there, past the third base side. Owen won the count. Gooden gets another life. Akiyama's at third base. Schmidt is at second. Taylor's at first. Into the air, into shallow left field. Smith racing over. Tagging from third, trying to score is Akiyama. The throw is cut off by Alvarez. It's a sac fly. RBI for Gooden. Makes it an 11-3 game here. Advantage Barons in the bottom of the fourth. The other runners didn't advance on the tag. In steps Jason Del Villar. Schmidt is at second. Taylor still at first. 2 outs. Del Villar 1 for 1 on the evening. Drew a walk in his last at bat and was hit by a pitch in his first. Had the 2 RBI double in the second. 4th time through the lineup here in the 4th inning. In the zone for strike 1. Two outs in the inning. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that missed well upstairs. 2-1 the count to Del Villar. He's one of 2 players on the roster from Sonoma State. Sonoma State was in the news in January because they're going to discontinue all their sports programs. All 11 sports programs will no longer take place at Sonoma State after this past academic year. 3 balls and 1 strike to the left fielder. We've seen Del Villar play at first base this summer season. Last summer, he played for the Baseball Consensus Collegiate Summer League. Played for the California Outlaws. Lifts this one into the air, into shallow center. In comes Hart. He calls everybody off and makes the catch for the 3rd and final out of the inning. 1 more run comes across for the Barons. They have an 11-3 lead as we head to the top of the 5th. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back after this. New pitcher on the mound for the Academy Barons in the top of the 5th, a right-hander who wears number 28 by the name of Douglas Crystal. Crystal stands at 6 foot, spent this past season at Cypress College. Spent the past 2 seasons at Cypress College. Was very effective out of the bullpen in both seasons. Had a lot more opportunities this past spring as a sophomore for the Cypress Chargers. Chargers won the Orange Empire Conference this past season. We'll get you the final line for Adrian Blanchette, as his day is done after 2 innings and 23 pitches. (11-3) is the score in the top of the 5th. Crystal making his 2nd appearance of the summer. Down and away. He'll face the top of the order. Sam Ardois, Brady Alvis, and Logan Hart. The 3 due up for the Blues as they trail by 8. Two straight misses to start the inning. Crystal's first outing came on June 15th against the Orange County Riptide. Didn't give up any runs or hits. Picked up 2 strikeouts in 1 inning of work. Fastball over for strike 1. 89 on the corner. Into the air, Schmidt will give chase, but it drifts into the bullpen. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Crystal made 20 appearances for the Cypress Chargers this past spring. Finished with an ERA of 4.32. Also picked up 2 saves. Had 41 strikeouts in 33 and a 3rd inning of work. Swing and miss. Ardois is set down via the strikeout. Out number 1. In steps the 3rd baseman, Brady Alvis.
14, Brady Alvarez.
Adrian Blanchette faced only 7 batters, retired 6 of the 7. Didn't give up any hits, no runs, did hit a batter, and picked up 1 strikeout in 2 innings of work. Used 23 pitches to record all 6 outs. It's the 3rd pitcher of the evening, as the first pitch to Alvis is a strike. Joel Tornero got the start. Adrian Blanchette followed. Now Douglas Crystal. One ball and 1 strike to count. Check swing, and home plate umpire says he did go around. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to the 3rd baseman. He's 1 for 2. Singled back in the 1st, struck out looking to end the 2nd inning. The Blues did respond with 3 runs in the top of the 2nd. Have been kept off the scoreboard since then. Lifts this into the air, and it'll drift foul. One ball and 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on base. Alvis the batter. Logan Hart is on deck. Here's the 1-2 from Crystal. Down and away. Evens the count at 2-2. In the bottom of the 5th inning, we'll have the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Bottom 3rd of the order due up. Konofsky will lead things off for the Barons. Just off the plate. Runs the count full. Close miss there by Crystal. Too much sweeping action from the right-handed pitcher. 3-2 in the dirt. Taylor can't find it. Alvarez will make it into first base. And so he reaches on the strikeout. So Alvarez reaches on the drop third strike by Taylor. Runner at first, 1 out. Logan Hart steps in. Crystal works from the stretch with the runner on first. Decent sized lead by Alvarez. In at the top of the zone. The Barons will hit the road tomorrow to take on the Conejo Oaks in Thousand Oaks. Second time they'll play the Oaks this week. Breaking ball on the outer edge. Started it outside and it broke back onto the plate. Then Sunday they'll return home to host the Oaks. The third time they'll play the Oaks this week. First pitch scheduled at 1:05 on Sunday. We'll go live at about 12:55. Logan Hart gets set down via the strikeout. Out number 2 in the outing for Crystal. 89 at the top of the zone. Hart couldn't catch up to it. In steps the right fielder, Donovan Jordan. He's been relatively quiet. Entered today's contest with a .372 batting average. Leads the team with 16 hits on the season. Offers at 1 in the dirt. 0-1 the count. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Popped up to the first baseman Schmidt in the third. Jordan off balance there. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2 the count to the 4-hitter. Runner on first. Off the glove of Taylor, and Alvarez will take advantage, advancing to second on the wild pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Two outs. Runner on second. Crystal shakes off a few signs. Now comes set. 1-2 is a breaking ball right back up the middle. Williams was cheating towards the middle. Throw over to first in time. And that's out number 3. On our way to the bottom of the 5th. We'll take a quick break and be back with the 7, 8, 9 hitters. The bottom third of the order due up for the Barons after this break. Back here on the MLB Youth Academy YouTube channel. Barons have an 11-3 lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Bottom third of the order, Jacob Konofsky will lead things off, followed by Antonio Lujan and J.J. Nielsen. Those are the three batters due up. First pitch from Wyatt Fisher. Skies this into the air. It drifts foul and out of play. So 0-1 the count to Jacob Konofsky, the right fielder today. Is 0 for 2. But picks up his first hit as he sends this one into center field. Leadoff single in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Number 32, center fielder, Antonio Lujan.
So after that single there by Jacob Konofsky, it's the 10th hit of the contest for the Academy Barons. It's been a sensational day offensively as they lead 11-3. Antonio Lujan steps in. Wyatt Fisher still on the mound. No one up and throwing in the Blues bullpen. First pitch was ruled the ball. 1-0 count to Lujan. Lujan reached on an error in his last at-bat. 0 for 2 on the evening. Fisher misses upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. As a team, the Barons have 5 home runs on the season. Lujan is responsible for 1 of those. Takes a big hack there, and it comes up empty. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. He hit the home run against the San Diego Bombers in the very first game of the season back on June 7th, 2 Fridays ago. Both he and Konofsky have 2 home runs. A home run apiece on the season. Nathaniel Williams leads the team with 2 home runs. And Trevor Schmidt also has a home run, counting for all 5 of the Barons' home runs this season. The one that Konofsky hit was this past Wednesday against the Conejo Oaks on the road. Nathaniel Williams also hit one on the road against the OC Riptide last Sunday. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Konofsky's at first base. Lujan steps back in. Switch hitter hitting from the left side, 3rd time this evening. Breaking ball hits the front hip of Lujan. There's now runners at first and second. 3rd hit batter of the game for the Barons. Jason Del Villar and Tommy Gooden are the other 2 that have been victims of the hit by pitch. Neither came around to score. Lujan is at first, Konofsky is at second. In steps Nielsen with a chance to do some more damage. The Barons have scored a run in each of the innings. First pitch misses upstairs. Just missing the top of the zone. Nielsen's 0 for 1 on the evening. Drew a walk and came around to score in his last at-bat. Holds up his swing, but the umpire rules it strike 1. 1-1 the count to the 3rd baseman. Breaking ball. The foul ball off home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barons scored 3 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Fisher. Nielsen goes down swinging, runs towards first base, but with it occupied by Lujan. There's no need for a throw down. First out of the inning.
Number 6, Nathaniel Williams.
The 11 runs tonight are the most scored by the Barons this season. In steps Nathaniel Williams, top of the order. For the Barons, he skies this one into right field towards the line. Jordan does have time to make the catch. Klanowski will tag from second to third.
For the Barons, number 17, DJ Akiyama.
So a sac fly that advances the runner 90 feet away. That is out number 2. Runners at the corners here for the Academy Barons in the bottom of the 5th. Lujan's at first. Klanowski is at third. Akiyama awaits the first pitch of the at-bat, and it misses upstairs. Akiyama singled in his last at-bat in the 4th, drew a walk in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3 on the evening. Lifts this one into right field, a little deeper than Williams. Jordan goes back, and he'll watch this one leave the ballpark. The second 3-run home run of the game. 14-3 is the score now. Barons on top of the Blues in the bottom of the 5th. Another hanging breaking ball there from Wyatt Fisher. Exit speed of 93 miles per hour, traveled 355 feet. And if you could see the TrackMan as far as where that ball was at, right down the middle. An easy pitch for Akiyama to send into the staff parking lot. Schmidt checks his swing. Home plate umpire rules it strike 1. Two outs in the inning. Nobody on base. Schmidt awaits the 0-1, grounds it over to the first baseman, Comerford, and he tags the bag himself for out number 3. Top of the 6th due up. We'll have another pitcher, another interview on for the MLB Youth Academy Barons YouTube channel. Barons lead 14-3. So top of the 6th inning here, we have another interview. Joining us on the broadcast is a left-handing pitcher for the Academy Barons this summer, Joel Tornero. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Here in the top of the 6th inning, we'll see the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Douglas Crystal still on the mound for the Barons. Now, Tornero, you finished the outing earlier this year. Not earlier this year, earlier this evening. Tell me how you felt about your outing.
Oh, I felt good. First batter was a little shaky to start it off, but after that, started to get the 2 strikes. But just got to put guys away when you're ahead. Can't let them get back into counts. Can't throw too many balls. Just got to put guys away.
Now, you've bounced around in your college journey. How did you end up at Azusa Pacific this past spring?
Yeah, it was a long journey. I graduated high school in 2019 and went to NNU my first year as a D2 in Nampa, Idaho, called Northwest Nazarene. Left there. COVID ended the season shortly, and then I transferred out. After I transferred, I wasn't able to play that sophomore year because of COVID again, so I ended up playing in some COVID leagues pretty much, hosted by Baseball Census, and pretty much after that, UCSD found me. I went there for 3 years, finished up, graduated, learned a lot there, and I had 2 more years left, so I thought, why not use them? So I always knew of APU. I had a lot of high school teammates that went there, and I reached out to them. They gave me their coach's contact, and he wanted me ever since, and that was great. It's been a great experience there. I loved it.
There's 1 out in the inning here in the top of the 6th. Klanowski records the flyout. Again, we're chatting here with Joel Tornero, who started earlier today's game. You mentioned in those 3 seasons at UCSD, you also suffered a Tommy John injury,
yes.
a Tommy John surgery. Tell me what the rehab experience was like with that.
Oh, well, it was a great rehab experience, but it was definitely tough. It was my first outing. I go out there against San Diego State. It's our rival, and I go throw 3 warm-up pitches and feel it. I didn't want to say anything. I was pretty amped up on some adrenaline, so I went out there and finished my outing, came back and told him I can't really bend my arm. So we got a MRI, I think 2 days later. It was gone. So got some surgery, I think, April 20th of 2022. No, 2023, April 20th. And man, it was grueling. The start of it's tough. I remember seeing my scar for the first time. I was like, oh man, that was my first surgery. This is crazy. But I had a really good trainer. Shout out to Christian. He was great. And it was 18 months before I threw in game. And right when I came back off that surgery, I broke my thumb. So that was tough. And then rehabbed off that, and finally here.
You've been here with the Barons for back-to-back seasons. What's one thing you enjoy most about the coaching staff and the environment here at the academy?
Oh, I love it. They just let you play. They give you, great information when you need it, great coaching when you need it. But for the most part, they just let you play, make adjustments on your own. But at the end of the day, they've played at the highest level, and they've got good info for us. They've got good stuff for us. So it's really a blessing.
How did you end up here at the academy playing baseball for them?
Oh, man, I had a friend that was supposed to be a coach, and he ended up not coaching. So he had reached out to me, seeing if I wanted to play with the Barons. He knew I was kind of finishing up at UCSD, but I didn't have a team yet. So he ended up not working here, but he still reached out for me. He got me onto the team, and it's been great. I've loved it ever since. That's why I came back this year.
So 3 up, 3 down. Douglas Crystal retires the side in order here in the top of the 6th. Again, we're chatting here with Joel Tornero. We noticed that last year you came in mainly as a reliever for the Barons. This year you've been primarily used as a starter. What are those differences that you use in your game day routine to get yourself ready for those?
Yeah, actually, I love that you asked that question. It was cool. I've always wanted to start, and I knew that if whatever happens next year, whether I go back to APU, whether I get signed this summer, I knew I wanted to start. And being a reliever and a closer this last year, actually, it was really easy to get used to, hopping up, doing a couple J-bands, throwing a couple plyo balls, and being ready to go in 5-10 minutes max. And now it's a whole, 40-minute warm-up. You got to really take your time. You got to be ready to go 70, 80 pitches. So that's been the main difference, is just conditioning, being in shape to, throw that many pitches and stay healthy.
What's your routine like before you get to the ballpark? Anything you do in particular?
I just try to make sure that I'm listening to something chill, some reggae, something to calm the nerves. I really like Bob Marley, some Steel Pulse, something like that. But I'll throw some of that on, maybe some Nirvana, and then chill the nerves, get to the stadium, and by the time I walk through the field, through the gates, I'm ready to go. I love it.
You mentioned that you like reggae. Do you have a favorite artist in particular?
Oh, no, I mean, I've been listening to more like Hawaiian music as of late, but my favorite, reggae artist got to be the band Steel Pulse. I just love their stuff.
Attention, please.
Okay. One moment while we get the new pitcher.
Left-handed pitcher number 6, Rafael Chiarella.
Okay, so he usually wears number 4, but he's wearing number 6 today. Rafael Chiarella is a new pitcher on the mound. 6'3" left-hander. Fourth pitcher we're seeing on the evening for the visiting San Luis Obispo Blues.
Man, you got the score back here. You got the lineups. You're making the adjustment on the fly. Wrong number.
Trying my best.
Oh,
Trying my best.
This might be harder than pitching.
You know what?
You appreciate
I'd
that?
like to think that.
That's awesome.
What's one thing you've learned through your collegiate experience now 5 years, right? As a pitcher that you didn't know when you first entered the collegiate levels?
It's something I learned is that it's simple, but it's not easy. You have to repeat your delivery. You gotta know what pitch to throw and what counts, and then you gotta execute that pitch. And at the end of the day, it's about executing pitches, and it's simple, but it's not easy. So, being locked in, pitch to pitch, one pitch at a time, and not making a big deal out of a big miss or a hit by pitch or a walk or a 2-strike hit. Those are the things that I didn't know made a huge difference in getting through outings and also getting through innings, or just keeping staying in the game.
So new pitcher, he'll face Gavin Taylor to lead off the inning in the bottom of the 6th. Again, we're chatting here with Joel Tornero here on the broadcast. What's one thing you tell yourself mentally when you are in a tough situation like you were in the 2nd inning? You give up some hits, walks. Something you tell yourself to calm down?
Well, a big thing is this pitch. Like, win here, win this pitch. That's what I like to tell myself, because what just happened. Once that ball leaves my hand, it's really cliche. The more you go up the levels, but you really can't do anything about it once it leaves your hand. So for me, just staying pitch to pitch and saying, all right, win this pitch.
We notice you have a 5-pitch arsenal. Was there any pitch in particular that was really hard to add to your repertoire?
Well, they're all tough to learn at first, but I kind of had like a mechanical change halfway through the season, I guess I should say, when I was at APU over winter break, and I added a curveball and a changeup. 2 pitches that I didn't really throw for strikes in the past, and I felt like I had better command of my pitches, so I decided to add those in. The changeup, it's a really tricky pitch. You're trying to throw as hard as you can and spin as hard as you can, but you're also not trying to dive it into the dirt and bounce it off your catcher and bounce it off the backstop. So learning how to not be a power pitcher and more of like a finesse and throw that pitch for a strike and let people swing out of their shoes was harder, but definitely with reps and just some work, you get used to it.
What's one thing you enjoy most about summer ball and meeting all these different guys who come from different programs and different places in the country?
Oh, man, it's the best. It's actually the best. Summer ball is some of the funnest baseball a collegiate player will play. It's a grind. There's sometimes you're just out here and you're sitting through games and it's not your day to play, or you're not going to pitch, and so be it, because those times might be tougher at schools, honestly, because at summer ball, you just have your boys in the dugout and you got your boys in the bullpen, and you get to hear all their crazy experiences from school and their season and their games, and you also get to learn a lot from each other and get better. So yeah, invaluable.
A few more questions for you. Do you have a favorite baseball movie of all time?
Oh, my favorite movie in general is called The Sandlot. So yeah, that one probably is why I play baseball. I think it stuck with me, the whole storyline and the hero story, and
yeah.
I think as a kid that was awesome, and I just wanted to be like that. I wanted to hit home runs and go get the ball back for us from the Beast. I don't know.
Another hit by pitch, back-to-back batters. There's one out.
Not really in my fate anymore as a pitcher, though.
When's the last time you got to swing a bat?
Well, we took pitchers BP with APU last season, and that was fun. But last time I saw a live pitch was probably junior year of high school.
Oh, wow.
I went junior year, tried it out, was on varsity playing outfield. It was cool. I wasn't that good at it, and then senior year came around. I liked pitching. I did it over the summer before, and ever since then I've been a pitcher.
Do you have a favorite snack in the dugout?
They're actually new. You got seeds, you got your gum, but Power Crunch bars. They're like a protein wafer bar. Oh my goodness, so good. Like 20 grams of protein. I'm just shouting them out right now. Honestly, I'm plugging them. But yeah, those are my go-to Power Crunch bars.
And now you're a native of West Covina. Do you have a favorite spot to eat in your hometown?
Ooh. So Covina and West Covina, right next to each other. I think I live closer to Covina. So I'll say I'm a Covina native. In Covina, they got Old World Deli. And it's actually Old World Delecadence or something like that. But I just call it Old World Deli. And, man,
Right.
it is great. You can get your beef dip. You can get some pasta. But their best thing is their roasted chicken. I mean, my family, my girlfriend, everybody knows I love it. And they make fun of me for it. But it's good. They can't understand the relationship I have with Old World Deli's roasted chicken.
2-0 the count to Jacob Konofsky. Again, we were chatting here with Joel Tornero. It was a pleasure having you on the broadcast, and we hope to have you on in the future.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, dude. That was fun. Yeah, of course. Awesome. Three and one the count to Jacob Konofsky here. There's runners on second and third. In the bottom of the sixth, Barons have pushed across runs in each of the first 5 innings, hoping to do so here in the sixth. This ball drifts foul, out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count to the right fielder. One out of the inning. Again, the new pitcher is Rafael Chiarella. And Klonowski goes down swinging. That's out number 2. So lefty on lefty matchup. Klonowski is a victim of another strikeout. Down below the zone, Chiarella has been affected. He did hit back-to-back batters, and that's why there's 2 runners on. Seemed like he lost control of his grip there after picking up a quick out to Gavin Taylor, who flew out to right field. In steps Antonio Lujan. He's a switch hitter. Also played at Azusa Pacific this past spring. Was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Has yet to record a hit. Downstairs for ball 1. The Barons have 10 hits as a team. However, guys like Antonio Lujan and J.J. Nielsen have still yet to record a hit. Everyone else in the lineup has contributed to the calls except for these 2 hitters. Lujan rips this into left field. It'll drop over the third baseman. 2 runs will come across the score. It's now a 16-3 lead. A 2 RBI single for Antonio Lujan here in the bottom of the 6th. The stretch of now 6 straight innings that the Barons have pushed across at least a run. Gooden and Del Villar scored. Antonio Lujan's at first base. In steps J.J. Nielsen. He's the last member of the Barons lineup to not record a hit in this evening's contest, but I have a good feeling that he'll pick one up before the game's end. This ball runs outside. And Rafael Chiarella, native of Las Vegas, Nevada, 6'3". Second pitch of the at-bat is inside. 2-0 the count to the third baseman. He struck out swinging in his last at-bat, drew a walk in the third, grounded out in the first. Inside for ball 3. 3 straight misses here to the third baseman. Chiarella last played for the Allen Hancock Bulldogs. Downstairs for ball 4, 4 straight misses. There's now runners at first and second. This past season for the Bulldogs and at Allen Hancock, he made 10 appearances. 7 of those were starts. He pitched 27 innings, finished with an ERA of 6.26, and a win-loss record of 2-2. 24 strikeouts in those 27 innings, 28 walks allowed. So control has been an issue. Williams will hit from the right side for the second time this evening. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Williams hit a fly ball to right field in his last at-bat in the 5th. High chopper over to the shortstop. He has to wait the big hop, and it takes a wicked one into left field. That's a tough one there for Ardois. He was patiently waiting the big hop, and it went right over his glove. So the 11th hit of the contest for the Academy Barons. Bases loaded. Akiyama watches this one upstairs. Ball 1. So in the first inning, the Barons sent 9 men to the plate. In the second, they sent 8. In the third inning, they sent 10 men up to the plate. On the ground, foul towards the third base coach, who has to dance out of the way. One of the players in the bullpen makes a play on the ground ball, barehanded. 1-1 the count to Akiyama. In the fourth inning, the Barons sent 6 men up to the plate. Also, 6 more men came to the plate in the 5th. Here in the 6th, at least 8 men have come to the plate. Akiyama grabs a new bat as that last swing cracked the other bat he had in his hand. 1-1 the count. Outside for ball 2. Two runs have already come across. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. Williams at first, Nielsen at second. Lujan is at third. The 2-1 to Akiyama upstairs. Downstairs for ball 4. A run will come in. It's now a 17-3 game. In the bottom of the 6th, bases are still loaded. Just seems like the Blues don't have their A game here this evening. We mentioned it's their 4th game in 4 days. Fatigue has to set in. The team took off on their team bus at 9 this morning. Probably ran into some traffic, as there usually is in Los Angeles. They got to the ballpark close to 3:30. First pitch to Trevor Schmidt, over for a strike. Lefty on lefty matchup for Chiarella. This one to the backstop as Nielsen touches home plate for the 18th run of the game. On the wild pitch. Looked like a breaking ball. Chiarella hasn't had his A stuff here in this outing. 4 runs have come across. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 3 in the 5th. Now 4 here in the 6th for the Barons. 2-1 the count to Trevor Schmidt. Out of high school, he committed to the University of Arizona. Spent the 2023 season with the Wildcats. Then bounced back for 2 seasons at Fullerton College. After his freshman year, he was committed to, or had committed to LSU. However, things fell through with that, and he's now committed to Grand Canyon University. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he was the conference MVP back in the 2024 season with the Fullerton College Hornets. Went to Servite High School. on the edge of the zone, and that's strike 3. Schmidt goes down looking. 9 men come to the plate. 4 more runs score here for the Barons. To the top of the 7th we go. Thanks for tuning in to Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. 891 due up for the visiting Blues. New pitcher to tell you about here in the top of the 7th. We have a right-hander who wears number 30 by the name of Braden Wellen. He stands at 6'3". He spent this past season at Golden West College. You've seen him appear a few times for the Academy Barons this summer. We'll pull up his exact stat line. In top of the 7th, the 8-9-1 hitters are due up for the Blues. It's their 4th game in 4 days, and it's really showing here this evening. Dean Trainer squad will have a game at the Great Park in Irvine tomorrow. Going back to Braden Wellen, it's his 3rd appearance. He did make 1 start for the Academy Barons in the summer. He's pitched in an inning and a 2/3. He's given up now 8 runs. He has a record of 0-1 and an ERA currently sitting at 32.40. So it has been a struggle. 5 walks have been issued. That pitch just misses the zone. To Camden Andrews. Andrews will lead things off, followed by Diego Murillo. Right to Nielsen. It's off his glove. Nielsen will try and make a throw deep in foul territory. It's a line drive. So an error on the 3rd baseman, Nielsen. First error defensively for the Barons. The Blues have committed 3 of those. In steps Murillo. Runner on first base, nobody out. Wellen spikes this in the dirt. Wellen has struggled here in the summer, but was pretty lights out for the Golden West Rustlers this past spring. Into the air, into shallow right field. Williams gives chase towards the line. Drops into fair territory. Konowski makes the throw over to second. Akiyama with the stretch, but it's not going to be in time. So bloop single for Diego Murillo. Williams had to go a long ways to get it towards the line in right field. There's 2 runners on, first and second. Kind of how the summer has gone for Wellen on the mound. Into the air, into the infield, Nielsen. Infield fly is called. He makes the catch as he falls to the ground. He does hang on for out number 1. This past spring for the Golden West Rustlers, Welland finished with a sub-1 ERA. 0.60 was his final ERA after 13 appearances, pitched 15 innings, 22 strikeouts in those 15 innings. However, things have gone very different this summer at the academy. A lot of guys from the Orange Empire Conference. A lot of guys from Golden West College here at the academy the past couple summers. Strong Golden West to academy connection. 2-0 the count to Alvarez. Last summer we had Golden West players like Andrew Stanley, Dylan Lena, Andrew Kirchner, among a few others. Upstairs, 3-0 the count. This year we have the likes of Braden Welland, Isaac Ocampo. We have another pitcher from Golden West. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Jake Rice is the other one. In there for strike one. A few guys from Cypress and Fullerton College as well. Can't forget Elias Valdez, another Golden West Rustler on the roster this year for the Barons. On the ground over to short. Akiyama has a chance to turn two. Williams for one. On to first in time. 6-4-3 double play.
For the Blues, there were no runs on one hit. There was one error. There were two left on base. 6.5. We go to the bottom of the seventh. Barons lead the Blues.
So Welland able to work himself out of the jam. No runs come across for the Blues. It's the seventh inning stretch. So let's go ahead and stay on during this half inning. Barons lead 18-3. My name is Noah Alvarez saying thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. It's been a long evening, one of the longer nights we've had. 18 runs as the Barons are currently up on top. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, and 4 in the sixth inning. We want to say thank you to the interviews that we had on the broadcast today. Alejandro Torres, who came on in the top of the fourth, and Joel Tornero, who came on in the top of the sixth. Remember, if you missed those interviews, we can always go back. You can always go back and listen to those interviews later on at a later date, as the video does stay up on the YouTube channel. We'll timestamp those interviews as well, so you can go into the description, and if you see the timestamp, you can just click on that. It'll be highlighted in blue, and that'll send you right away to the video, or the part of the video in which the interview occurred. Joel Tornero in the top of the sixth, Alejandro Torres in the top of the fourth. We've had plenty of different interviews on through the course of the season. We're trying to get at least 2 a game. Eventually we'll want to have some of the coaches on during the broadcast as well. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the San Luis Obispo Blues. 5th pitcher of the evening. It's a right-hander who has a bit of a sidewinder or submarine pitching style. Where's number 36? His name is Chase Rogers. Comes from Dana Point, California, down here in Orange County. Stands at 6 foot. Where's number 36? 5th pitcher of the ball game for the San Luis Obispo Blues. This is the second of 3 home games this week. The Barons will host the Oaks Sunday, first pitch scheduled at 1:05, and then we'll have 3 home games next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So plenty of time for you to catch the Academy Barons here at the MLB Youth Academy, right off the 91. Very accessible if you're in the Southern California area. Down and away to Gavin Taylor. This pitch misses the zone, not by much. Taylor, the number 4 hitter today. Flew out to right field in his last at-bat. In the 6th inning, the Barons sent 9 men to the plate and pushed across 4 runs. 3 straight misses. Four, 5, 6 due up. Gooden and Del Villar will follow Taylor. Inside for ball 4. So 4 straight misses out of the bullpen for Chase Rogers.
Give to the plate for the Barons, number 47, Tommy Gooden.
Runner on first, nobody out for the Barons and Tommy Gooden. Bottom of the 7th. Gooden smacks this into left field. It drifts foul towards the fence, and it drops. 0-1 the count. Gooden has been hit by a pitch twice here in the evening. Once in the 2nd, once in the 6th. He's 1 for 1 on the evening. On the ground, past the first baseman, off the glove, into shallow right. So a single for Tommy Gooden. Runners on first and second. Nobody out for the new pitcher, Chase Rogers. He spent this past spring at Lafayette College. Just finished his sophomore season. Foul tips this off the catcher. First pitch strike to Jason Del Villar. Now looks like we're going to get a pinch runner here. Gooden will be replaced by Chip Mertz.
Your attention, please. Pitch runner at first base for the Barons. Running for number 47.
So the incoming freshman
Player number 9.
will get a chance to run and get some action here. He's an infielder with some good speed. Del Villar steps back into the batter's box. 0-1 to count. Rogers from the stretch with that sidearm action, and Del Villar chases one outside the zone. Oh, and 2 the count to the left fielder. Believe that was off the knob of the bat. Count remains at 0-2. On the ground, through the 3/4 hole, it gets into right field. Runners will move station to station. Taylor goes to third. Mertz is at second. Del Villar is at first base. 14th hit of the evening for the Academy Barons. Got to start to wonder how many pitchers the Blues have available here this evening. In steps Jacob Kowalski. Struck out swinging in his last at-bat. Outside for ball 1. And Rogers spent his past 2 seasons at Lafayette College. They play in the Patriot League. ripped towards the first base coach as he dances out of the way of that one. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Lafayette last season finished 10-6 in conference play. Rogers misses inside. Klonowski has to bend out of the way. 2-1 the count. Rogers made 3 appearances for Lafayette this spring. Pitched an inning in a third. Gave up 4 runs. Issued 1 walk. Did record 2 strikeouts. Klonowski skies this one into deep center. Hart racing back. It'll be enough time for Taylor to tag from third base. Another run comes to score for the Barons here in the bottom of the 7th. 19-3 is now the score. It's the first out of the inning. In steps the switch hitting center fielder Antonio Lujan. He picked up his first hit of the evening in the 6th inning, an RBI single. Pokes this out to the left side, and it goes foul. Lujan has hit twice from the right side of the plate today with lefties on the mound. The other 4 times have come from the left side of the plate. This misses behind Lujan as he has to duck out of the way. Neither runner will advance. One and 1 the count, 1 out. 2 runners on. 19-3 is the score. High chopper just past the mound. Going to be a tough play for the shortstop. On the run. First base stayed on. So Ardois able to record the 2nd out of the inning. Both runners advance 90 feet. Tough play for the shortstop coming in. Has to throw on the run. Lujan's pretty quick down the first base line as well. But he's retired for out number 2. And steps J.J. Nielsen, still searching for his first hit. Pitch misses inside. Nielsen hit a grounder in the 1st inning. Drew a walk in the 3rd, came around to score. Struck out in the 5th. Skies this one out of play. He drew a walk in the 6th, also came around to score. The 1-1 from Rogers. And it looks like that got the catcher Andrews in a soft spot. Nielsen fouls it off the catcher. He's down in some pain. Trainer will now come check in on Andrews, the catcher. That was hurt a little bit more too when the score is the way it is, 19-3. Trainer comes out. Head coach Dean Trainer, that is, to come check in on his catcher to see if he'll need a substitution. 2 outs. In the bottom of the 7th. Andrew seems okay. Says he wants to stay into the game. Rogers asked for a new baseball. It's a 1-2 count. There's 2 outs. Runners on second and third for the Barons. J.J. Nielsen down in the count. Still looks for his first hit. Smacks this into left field. Going back is Smith, and Smith makes the catch on the run. Robs Nielsen of a hit there. That was the best contact he's made all evening. That's the 3rd out. 1 more run comes across for the Barons in the bottom of the 7th. After 7 full, 19-3 is the score. Top of the 8th when we come back. 3-4-5 due up next for the Blues. Some substitutions to let you know here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. New pitcher on the mound is Jason Thomas. He wears number 43. He's a left-hander, stands at 6'1", and just finished his sophomore season at Cypress College. Another one of those Cypress College players here on the Barons roster this summer. A new pinch hitter, or a new hitter to tell you about, pinch hitting for Logan Hart. He came in as a defensive substitution on the top of the inning, or correction, in the bottom of the 7th. It's Koisei Suzuki. First pitch from Thomas misses upstairs. In the zone for strike 1. Thomas spent this past season for the Cypress Chargers. Made 22 appearances, recorded 3 saves, pitched 37 in a 3rd inning. Finished with a record of 3-1, had 49 strikeouts in those 37 innings. Foul ball by Suzuki. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. He'll face the 3-4-5 hitters. Suzuki pinch hitting for Hart, Jordan, and then Raymond following any or barring any pinch hitters. Breaking ball, lifts into the air, into left field. Del Villar calls it and has it for out number 1. So the pinch hitter is retired here in the top of the 8th inning. Blues are down to their final 5 outs. In steps Donovan Jordan. Thomas went to Gar High School before Cypress College. As a freshman in 2024, he made 8 appearances for the Cypress Chargers. Had a lot bigger workload in 2025 with 22 appearances. Foul ball by Jordan. No changes defensively for the Barons, as Mertz came in as the pinch runner for the DH Gooden. 1-1 the count. Runs outside for ball 2. Jordan fouls this off and moves the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jordan is hitless, as many of the Blues are. 0 for 3 here on the evening. Breaking ball, rips it into left field. Del Villar plays it off a hop. So there's Jordan's first single. He came in leading the team with 16 hits before today's contest. That's hit number 17 on the season. Again, the Texas transfer looking for a new home. He's currently in the portal at first base. First pitch to the 5-hitter, Raymond, is into center field. Back-to-back singles now for the Blues. So first pitch strike into the pinch hitter, Jake Hicksonbaugh. It was also Spencer Gallimore who was pinch hitting for Andrew Raymond. He's at first base. Jordan is at second. Thomas makes a move to second. No one was covering. Hicksonbaugh steps in. He hits from the left side. Ooh, tough miss there for Thomas. An unfavorable call. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. One pitch misses upstairs. Two one is by Hicksonbaugh for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. There's 2 runners on, 1 out in the inning. Jake Hicksonbaugh spent this past spring at Monterey Peninsula Community College. Just finished his sophomore season. There's the breaking ball, and that's on the edge for strike 3. Thomas gets his first strikeout of the outing. Out number 2. And we'll see the first baseman, Brendan Comerford. Comerford drew a walk in the second and came around to score. That's back when the Blues responded with 3 runs in the second. Those are the only 3 runs they've had here this evening. They do have 7 hits. Comerford behind on the fastball there. Only won the count to the first baseman. He flew out to center field in his last at-bat. Struck out in the 4th. 0 for 2. Upstairs for ball 1. Lifts this into the air. Akiyama and Williams both in the middle of the infield. Akiyama calls off everybody. and makes the couch for out number 3. So that's the third and final out. Jason Thomas works around the single, or the back-to-back singles by the Blues batters. On to the bottom of the 8th. We'll have the top of the order, 1, 2, 3, due up for the Barons. Nathaniel Williams, DJ Akiyama, and Trevor Schmidt, barring any substitutions. So in the bottom of the 8th, we'll have a position player pitching for the San Luis Obispo Blues, Ethan Royal. He wears number 50. He's from Arroyo Grande, California. Just finished his junior season at Utah Tech. Stands at 5'11". We'll look to see if he has any experience at that level pitching. But he is listed as an outfielder. First pitch to the leadoff hitter, Williams, misses outside. Royal also played at Cuesta College before transferring to Utah Tech. Another Cuesta College kid. Away for ball 2. Two balls and 1 strike to count to the second baseman. Home plate umpire asked for new baseballs. Royal made 34 starts for the Utah Tech baseball team this past spring. Hit 246 with 16 RBIs and 16 runs scored. No appearances on the mound. Smacks this one into right center field. Suzuki going towards his left, misses on that one. Williams ends up at second base standing. Leadoff double here for the Barons. They're going to make it 8 straight innings where they get a run. In steps Akiyama, the shortstop. Slaps this foul and out of play. Owen won the count to Akiyama. He drew a walk in his last at-bat. Had a 3-run home run in the 5th inning, a single in the 4th, a walk in the 3rd, and 2 groundouts, 1 in each the 1st and 2nd. On the ground, over to Murillo at second, and it skips past him into right field. Runners now are at the corners. Pretty hot off the bat, 96 miles per hour exit velocity there. Drilled in a single for Akiyama. In steps Trevor Schmidt, and Schmidt watches one downstairs, ball 1. Sixth pitcher of the evening for the Blues. Jackson Howell started it. Chase Viali was next, followed by Wyatt Fisher. After Wyatt Fisher was Rafael Chiarella, and then Chase Rogers. Now Ethan Royal. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Schmidt. Schmidt struck out looking to end the 6th. On the inner part of the plate, Schmidt not happy with the call. He walks off towards the dugout, frustrated. Second strikeout looking here on the evening for Trevor Schmidt. In steps Gavin Taylor now. First pitch gets past the catcher. Neither runner advances. 1-0 the count. Taylor's 2 for 3 on the evening. Has worked 2 walks. He hit the 3-run home run back in the 3rd inning. A single back in the 1st. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Akiyama, the runner on first base. Williams, the runner on third. 3 straight misses here to Taylor. Batter on deck is Chip Mertz. He's still waiting for his first plate appearance on the evening. Downstairs for ball 4. Akiyama goes to second. Williams will stay put at third base. In steps Chip Mertz, who I'm sure is eager to join the hit parade. The Barons have 19 runs off 16 hits, only 1 error defensively. The Blues have 3 runs off 7 hits and 3 errors defensively. Final 2 outs for the Barons with this large lead to push any more insurance runs. 1-0 the count. Royals missing the zone a little bit more. One to win the count with 1 out. Mertz awaits the pitch from Royal. Just misses the zone. Bases loaded. Bottom of the 8th. Mertz chases one outside the zone. 2-2 the count. Jason Del Villar is the batter on deck. Mertz does fly out of the batter's box. Smacks this one into left field. Williams tags from third base. Here's the throw. The catcher Andrews just blocks it, as he wasn't going to have enough time to get Williams at home. Two outs in the inning. No other runner advanced on the sacrifice fly. Mertz picks up an RBI. And steps Jason Del Villar. He had a single in the 7th and a 2 RBI double in the 2nd. He's 2 for 3. Drew a walk and was hit by a pitch twice. Both he and Tommy Gooden have been hit 2 different times by 2 different pitchers. Downstairs, Andrews blocks it at the plate. In the top of the 9th inning, we'll see the 8-9-1 hitters, Camden Andrews, Diego Murillo, and Sam Ardois, barring any substitutions. Gets past Andrews, but no runner advancement. That's in the zone for strike one. Looks like Royal took a little bit off that one. 3-1 the count, 2 outs. And Royal misses badly there. It's a walk on 5 pitches. Bases are loaded once again. Akiyama's at third, Taylor at second. Del Villar is at first. Klonowski makes his way to the plate. Klonowski had a single in the 5th. It's his only hit of the evening. In the zone for strike one. Rips this one into right field. Foul, maybe by a couple of inches or so. He's 1 for 3 on the evening with an RBI. Drew a walk back in the 1st. Hit a sacrifice fly in the 7th that scored the only run of the 7th inning. 0-2 the count to the right fielder. Offers at the breaking ball, and Andrews can't hang on, or that would have been out number 3. And Klonowski goes down swinging. First base will make the catch, and that's out number 3. On to the top of the 9th we go. Final 3 outs for the San Luis Obispo Blues when we come back. New pitcher on the mound for the Academy Barons to get the final 3 outs. It's a right-hander from Azusa Pacific, standing at 6'3". His name is Kyle Bender. Kyle Bender is the 6th pitcher to come in for the Academy Barons, and head coach Kenny Landreau. Joel Tornero started the game. Adrian Blanchett went 2 innings. Douglas Crystal also went 2. Braden Wellen and Jason Thomas both went 1 inning each. Now Kyle Bender will face the 8-9 one-hitters. Camden Andrews will lead things off, followed by Diego Murillo and Sam Ardois. Bender is a native of Vacaville. Vacaville is over in the Bay Area, or in between the Bay Area. Some Bay Area natives don't consider Vacaville to be the Bay Area, but that's a discussion for another day. Up and inside to Andrews. It's in Northern California, though. If you just need to know anything about Vacaville, on the way from Sacramento to the Bay Area. 1-1 the count. Bender out of high school, committed to University of Washington, and redshirted for the Huskies in 2022. Then he appeared in 2 games in 2023. During the 2024 season, he bounced back to Folsom Lake Community College. That's over in the Sacramento area. On the ground, foul to the left side. Two balls and 2 strikes to the catcher. Nobody out, nobody on base. Second appearance on the summer for Bender. There's the bending breaking ball that finds the zone, and that's a strikeout for out number 1. Andrews goes down looking. In his one other appearance, Bender pitched 1 inning, allowed 2 runs, issued 3 walks, didn't give up a hit, and didn't record a strikeout. 2 of those runs, or 1 of those runs, was earned. That was back on June 10th, opening weekend. Pokes this into the air, into right field. Konofsky can't get to it. Murillo takes the churn. Strong throw. Akiyama whiffs on the catch attempt. It does get into foul territory, but Murillo will stay put at second base. A 1-out double in the top of the 9th. Strong contact from the right-handed batter. At the top of the zone, right down the middle. Mistake pitch there from Bender. But you can afford those when you're up 20-3 like the Barons are. And thanks for tuning in to Barons Baseball here on the MLB Academy Barons YouTube channel. I want to say thank you again to Alejandro Torres and Joel Tornero, who came on during today's broadcast for interviews. Something we're trying to incorporate more this summer season. First pitch to Ardois is in for strike 1. Bender delivers on home, and that's the 2nd strike in a row. Ardois hit an RBI triple. It was one of those borderline calls over at third base. Nielsen had the ball in his glove, applying the tag. The throw and the tag beat Ardois. However, the third base umpire ruled him safe. That was back in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 4 on the evening. Popped out to the third baseman in the 7th inning. Breaking ball on the edge. That's strike 3. 2nd strikeout of the outing for Bender. Blues are down to their final out. In steps Brady Alvarez. Nice weather here for baseball on this evening in the city of Compton. When the Barons hang on for victory, they'll advance to 3-7 on the season. Blues will drop to 6-7 on the year. They'll take on the OC Riptide tomorrow at Great Park in Irvine. The Barons will travel to Thousand Oaks to take on the Conejo Oaks tomorrow. outside for ball 1. First pitch tomorrow is scheduled at 4 p.m. over at Sparky Anderson Field if you're looking to travel with the team. Then they'll return home Sunday to take on the Oaks one more time. This pitch gets all the way to the backstop. Advancing to third base on the wild pitch is Murillo. First pitch Sunday, scheduled at 1:05, will go live 10 minutes before 12:55. We'll have a couple interviews for you as well, that broadcast on that Sunday afternoon. Three and 1 the count. Over the top on that one. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls and 2 strikes. That's full count pitch. This one misses, hits the backstop. It's ball 4. Murillo will come in to score from third base on a wild pitch. Bender didn't have the grip on that breaking ball, and so it'll extend the inning. Kosei Suzuki will get another at-bat. His first at-bat ended in a fly out to left field. Suzuki pinch hit for Logan Hart in the 8th inning. Breaks his bat, sends this blooper into center field in front of Lujan. 2 on with 2 outs. Suzuki will need some new lumber after making contact with that one. Now we'll see Donovan Jordan get another at-bat. He picked up his first single, only hit of today's contest back in the 8th inning. He's 1 for 4. Entered today's contest with a batting average of .372. On the ground, over to Nielsen at third. Touches third base, 5 unassisted for out number 3. So the Barons come out victorious by a final score of 20-4. Thanks again for tuning into Barons Baseball here on the Academy Barons YouTube channel. Want to say thank you one more time to Alejandro Torres and Joel Tornero for hopping on the broadcast today, doing some player interviews, something that we're trying to incorporate more this summer with the different equipment that we have available to us. The Barons advanced to 3-7 on the season. The Blues dropped to 6-7. The Blues will take on the Riptide at the Great Park in Irvine tomorrow, while the Barons will travel to Thousand Oaks to take on the Conejo Oaks. First pitch scheduled at 4 p.m. They'll return back home Sunday. First pitch scheduled at 1:05. If you can't make it out to the ballpark, we'll stream that game live here from the MLB Youth Academy. First pitch scheduled at 1:05 will go live at about 12:55. Again, thanks to TJ, Oliver, and everyone else who helped out with today's broadcast. My name is Noah Alvarez saying thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.